an anarchist. Who can say Akufado? Yeah, the Ghana is telling someone or the confusion. Any anarchy beba Ghana.
You are self disgrace. I'm telling you. You are self disgrace.
No, you are self disgrace.
Come on, Michael.
Did you say Akufado?
Michael.
And I have it on record.
Don't get me angry.
You said Akufado was an anarchist.
You look. Can you give evidence?
And when Ghanaians put power into his hands, he is going to destroy Ghana. Okay.
I'm telling you.
I have it.
You are a simple idiot.
And you are saying I should not talk. I never insulted anybody. What's he saying?
Don't mess up with me. Pastor Salamudino. Oh, David. Michael. No.
Pastor, if you are...
Hey, Samu. Hey.
Bobie, Mamin,
Hey,
Master Party, this is queer. MPP, queer. Mami family.
Waste and corruption. We need to introduce stricter public financial management guidelines and regulations. A tougher sanctions regime must be introduced to check the hemorrhaging of about 17 billion Ghana cedis every year, as contained in the Auditor General's report. This must be vigorously enforced to curtail the appalling waste and corruption that the Auditor General unearths every year. Everything must be done to win the fight against corruption. It is quite clear that government has lost its will in this fight. It is a notorious fact that corruption appears to be defeating the government of Nana Akufo-Addo. Indeed, it is fair to say that there really has been no real fight put up against corruption under the Akufo-Addo administration. The graft and misapplication of public funds by government appointees calls for radical action and not shielding of these perpetrators, as we have sadly witnessed in the last few years. The next is suspension of non-waste and corruption. We need to introduce stricter public financial management guidelines and regulations. A tougher sanctions regime must be introduced to check the hemorrhaging of about 17 billion Ghana cedis every year, as contained in the Auditor General's report. This must be vigorously enforced to curtail the appalling waste and corruption that the Auditor General unearths every year. Everything must be done to win the fight against corruption. It is quite clear that government has lost its will in this fight. It is a notorious fact that corruption...
Prices are increasing at a faster rate than the official statistics are capturing. A few examples will suffice. We've seen over the last 3 years, even pure water has gone up threefold. Cement, rice has gone up as more than double. Digit inflation is not possible. It would depend on what is being measured and over what period. Mr. Chairman, how many Ghanaians have seen a single-digit increase in the prices of the goods they normally buy in the markets and shops? When you ask what is really...
Live on Accra 100.5 Citizen Show, Friday afternoon. Thank God it's Friday. TGIF, we are back here, the last day of the weekend. That's how we do it. Baby, I will be on me more hammy, more kwaba, a dom and pimpim, a dom and pimpim. Yeah, more peso across the country. That say Benya FM4, yes, Central Region, that say papa, and I feel so yeah, Tamale, Dagman FM, yeah, that say. And Nyame Inshramu Bebre. More journey on Facebook. Nisaki Muhammad Abashi Laminu Thailand Johnson Clifford Domo Munina Moba Ewoye YouTube so Yada Munina say area. Someone here just thank you so much. Say what joining you. And then next. There will be a yabwa. Minimum says I'm ready. Same call was soon dear. Nature Sam said was one. Essie. I just say, Kwaba.
Yeah, near
Patch over for you.
A radiado na every pa.
Patch a quite a form.
Na me da se. Edi kan no ye beti for yesterday. A network for societal transformation. A charity a friend and nest. Ye ho asem na wie nso wasugu so a wotie se de bia ya na ye bode wuro no e bi so ana ene de di kan a wotie ye ho asem a edwumeku a dwuma ye dia ne se ye kyerɛkyerɛ enyuma bi a adwuma obi ye no obetimi aye de aka ho a abra ohie ska kase bia ene no ye hu se sabi onipa tena se on one source of income a ya na etumi de ahokyerɛ bakakra edi yewe ene enya ya mfie dunum nie 15 years ni yade aye programs a aye mfaso aye nhyira amani pepi yesere ebia na awiabre utie me na oye adwuma opa adwuma bi akande oye no ho Mekanfo network for societal transformation edi amount ebi kra na utie me na sebe oye housewife ene oye adwuma etesen na onye bi kra Mekanfo network for societal transformation edi amount Juma ye dia ne se ye kyerɛkyerɛ enyuma bi a onipa betimi aye ebra ohie ska kase bia ebra ohia so benya machines bia empo sebe onipa hia so benya stores bi ansah na waye enyuma ɛya na ye kyerɛkyerɛ ne ye no aye mfaso aye nhyira amani pepi ebi kra na utie mi awie na sebe odrum penim fie so wako pension o pa adwuma bi aye awie Mekanfo network for societal transformation at the amount ya bodwumedi hu dawura na nyame adoma ochena na programme baso ochena Saturday ya 11th March nyame adoma ochena ya de esi ho a ye one day business and empowerment workshop ye be kyerɛkyerɛ enyume bi a onipa bia betimi aye bie abra ohia skakɛse bia abra ohia so benya machines bia abra ohia se empo benya store bi ansana wahyasie dwumedi kasi ebekoso akra heya National Theatre won kran heya na nyame adom ochena dwumedi ebekoso yesere se utie me na ebia wapadwuma che bibi nti unya bi nya ya eya abra program bi ne betimi ayi nhyira kese edi amabusua ene oman ansana meka dwumedi hu asem no mepacho di kan fa number ya mede today Ansah ebia na oteka mu ena wotie number no 0244 474093 0244 474093 0244 474093 nyame adomo china ena one day business and empowerment workshop ha yabo hunda wura no baso dwumedi kasie bekoso akra ya National Theatre ye be hyase anopa 8 o'clock eye program a ye be kyerɛkyerɛ enyume ya mede beto dwei enje bre ehia ska kasie bia ehia store bia ansah na obi ahyemu bia ase ye be kyerɛ kwane e fa so prepare liquid soap e program yi ase nyame adomo kyena efie bi ehia egusua bi ehia ye be kyerɛ kwane e fa so prepare shampoo hair conditioner shower gel parazone floor cleaner nyuma ye kyerɛkyerɛ ne ye niema enipa hia ewo ye ndada asetenem enunti ena ye kyerɛkyerɛ kwane e fa so prepare no after wash ye be kyerɛ ne ye ewo National Theatre kyena bar soap edisi niema washing powder Dettol glass cleaner hand sanitizer body lotion hair cream stain remover ointment menim se enyuma ye boboso a ye be kyerɛ ne ye kyena no bibi koso wadwenem ubisa ho se ye be da ne esua ni ma nyina adakoro ye sere enyuma ye kyerɛ ne ye kyena no enye niema eye den ye enyuma onipa bia betimi aye bie ama na yeyi enunti ena ye kyerɛkyerɛ ne ye okyerɛ nyame ya adoma ewo National Theatre liquid soap some few minutes no prepare wie shampoo conditioner shower gel parazone floor cleaner after wash bar soap washing powder, Dettol, glass cleaner, hand sanitizer, body lotion, hair cream, stain remover, ointment. Enyuma we nyina enje bre enu nti na ye kyerɛkyerɛ kwane a ye fa so eye no nyame yadoma ochina Saturday ewo National Theatre. Ye besia kyerɛ kwane ye fa so prepare bread, cupcakes, shawarma, pizza, meat pie, yogurt, ginger drinks. Say enyuma nyina say ebi obi ye wedding, engagement, party unim ya ebetimi aboa ewa kwan bebre eso ene no ye nhyeda enye adwuma baako ya pe agrika nimdifo a omo badwumadi asechina abekyerɛkyerɛ kwane a ye fa so ye pigs ye pig farming, catfish, any tilapia kwane ye fa so ye won, snail farming kwane ye fa so ye enwa, general crop farming, di twato okra ye biodigester. Enyume ya media tudwo nyame yadom ochina ye kyerɛkyerɛ kwane a ye fa so ye no ewo National Theatre. A practical training program a ye kyerɛkyerɛ enyume ya mede atu dwei. Me pacho sign fa number ni bio. 0244 474093. 0244 474093. 0244 474093. Minim se ubisa ho se dwumadi ehun hyehye te sen ehun sikasem te sen adwen type program we echi ne se be mfaso ebe nhyira ama nipa ede wo ho behye mu nyina. Registration for nyume ya ye kire ne ye nyina no 250 Ghana cedis. 250 Ghana cedis. Bibia nka ho bio ye nye mobile money so in advance. Nyame yadom ochina oba program yase ewo National Theatre. Now do 250 cedis aba na wabe register ewo dwumadi no ase hwa ye be hyase anopa 8 o'clock eye china nopa ewo National Theatre. Enye yira kwan kora bebi a wo bia ofo Accra Central car usi Novotela National Theatre ewo hwa ana usi Tama Station ubi sabofra kora obekyerewo ochina nopa ena dwumadi yi ebe baso ye kyerɛkyerɛ ne mewia Ansah ya hyeda ye videos kama erefie nti enyuma ye bekyerɛ ne nyina ye hu videos sɛde obinim akenkan odi video no kofie a obetimi ahwe wo TV so kwane a ye fa so prepare liquid soap, shampoo, conditioner, shower gel, parazone, floor cleaner, after wash, bar soap, washing powder, Dettol, glass cleaner, sanitizer, body lotion, hair cream, stain remover, ointment, bread, cupcakes, shawarma, pizza, meat pie, yogurt, ginger drink, pig farming, catfish, tilapia, snail farming, crop farming, any biodigester. Ya any nyina hu videos a ye be chamo bia mesro ye nton ni nyina hye 256 registration or china oba program ya sia o de beba no eho ni nyina ka ho na 250 cedis no pen drive no ye nton ye free ni nyina eka ho ya hyeda ye hu books nso a ye tintim kwane a ye fa so ye enyuma we nyina wo book ne nso ye sere ye nton ni nyina ka 250 cedis registration a o china nopa oba National Theatre o de beba no eho ya sans why home participation certificate here edi adanse se obi de ne ho hye adwumadi emubi mepacho meje mu ama nanei mesrao sign fa number no ebio bomodi afa number me de tudwei kai se eba so china nopa ewo National Theatre anapa 8 o'clock yesre anya yira kwan kra oba no ane so ofo Accra Central no esi ono hotel mepacho fa number ne bio 0244 474093. 0244 474093. 0244 474093. May body chat to 0244 474093. Nana pepacho me that say.
Me that say of what Yaminsha Bebre. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that's it. Live on Accra 100.5. Ya say aba. Yankwai. Yanante.
Wa mabe. Aborna wum lahabal nyaksim. Asibir dalet. Kurga yo point ne prigele. Nana kwabenabobieansah. Muni nyatum banyabga. Ka borna ay wum ya to nyaksim ko chekane. Ban la akum nana bobieansah. Ka bugum lahabal suma tumbanyabga. Nana bobieansah. Muni nyatum banyabga. O chekane. ote kan yarama ote ne bielba atia nyanwu nyanyu otweba onyelo ma bia nana Bobie Ansah tingban yabaga nyu
ene ye mo akwa ba so magana and meju omo ma fi omo pa
o program no ya na won croford do
ye sa oh ene omo fa ncheme
omo ba me ntufo
yo omo fa ncheme
ebi didi ebi de komode wom
enfoni
Carlos ne Ansah ne Mustafa ne nkrofo masa da bia de ache de sen so mu di cast ho atrantwie twi ye ka atrantwie a atse ayi kinagate fo a omote si so a kire se so okọ na wo ba cast ho de omote ho aye okusie a wayi chino no
inkuku ya kabang adibiara durafu ya wo fere na fu na nso ya asase durafu ya wo fere ne siw adenti efisa asase ne panyin opanyin ne hira opanyin ne Kwabena Bobie Ansah sasere kukuku da bi ochi mekwan no di nkampro obebare bia na wabebare daily graphic ne daily guide memunsam asai magana fu eje na kurum muntie eje ntetirichi onamo so adoto nsura akorokraw gana fu se ubeshi akwache wo kwanchen no bema achinchen ache wo kwanchen de ene ankako awrukọ chakra chinchen no ma ne yechi achinchen na se poto ni be poto kasa mafia na efi potofi nti gana fu nti Bobie se obi abo ma wabo ni bi mu watu Bobie na obi so obesan abo obi a boni bi na dan obobia gana fu beti amanye sempa Bobie wona gana fu nanti ubiribiri wona won nanti umprempren mo nanti ubiribiri nanti umprempren
Wabatele Accra ya mami
opani to ene energy ministry ensensen wadaroma ehya ase enra wo ma kasa nyina mse wakoye Japani wate eye tofo wodi ki akohompo epen ene o makohia ene enra won sai ehye to ene energy ministry GMPC wadaroma de na ekoso
ye mu binum wo ho a sebio ye ma nokra ne nyeduma enu ma mi hu se na wo ma kan wo paper store na ne mo no enye nokra obi wo ho a wan kan nokra no wan fan kire bofo no mi njina de bia nka se GMP sifo na wo kra yo no wo mo njina wo ma ne mfa mato nyesa de kai kire nse ye ko meeting and you see ebedu baby no GMPC de be mato na yan continence ne yanhwe embira GMPC de be mato esanse bibia no esa wo ye preparation memeti we mature letter me de akoma Nigeria for said oil no de manu GMPC for ne emfa ma wo me sanse enchiro sa letter ni bio se wo mfa mato misina na mekasa tofo na enkofa no kwara no anye djuma me du baby a misra no kwara ni nye djuma na esa me ye ma no kwara ni be ye djuma no meye
Wabatele Accra ya mami
nana Kwabena Bobie Ansah berema be meti garafuru kube puntimpuna si sokode no wakanchira katabin se you wati unkensen Kwabena keja guma mne yanko.
Okay, so onko momfa menko sa school dino me pese me kira manfo ade bi hyesi a quick one oh yakasa Ghana for timid kakra na manfo enti ase okay, all right, so me pese mo hwe school dan bi timid ne wasem a yeka na monti ase no ya wonti ni pa bibini ase hwe school dan a esiwa enkoda akom sa school dan no then me producers efre headmaster no say at least we want to talk to him. Headmaster ne say osuro Kufuado enti ontimi nka ho asem wone nkwala ete edan mu
abusia for your friend of Kwabena Loak NDC communication bureau and then so you too far yet any about bachelor kura your friend bunsu school ye bunsu presby GHS bunsu our West Akem Municipal Assembly Ashaiman kasi area so your marshal many a school your money be sukonio a GHS for enche cultural exams we nom enen koda omko school ebi e wa akra ayi bi wokofo dua eni kura kese nom ko school papem no omnyine cultural ensohe baako we school ni condition fese ne ane tibiate na bisa ho sesa ha na me bako school a me mani beji ana oman bapa bia wo de ne se utua tax enti ese aban de tax na yitua no ebi si school dan eni ayaresabia no man ya kwan papa eni nsuo aban we onsi school dan onsi ayaresabia o ma yesu papa hwe GHS nie tweme ne enkohwe primary ni nso.
Okay, so primary very good. Okay, me said about be yehu adwuma, but oh ye kasa Ghana for temeda. These are some of the issues. Hwe school dan enkoda team. Me producer say free headmaster na awie ya. Headmaster na say osuro Akufo-Addo ntino on the ontimi nka hwe. Ada ya ye be yinadi. Can you imagine? Just look at sir a die we anko that team. Ewa achim wow. Osuro ya nyina dia anadu ebepe boys amoma bebo ada ya ugu Akufo-Addo animu ase. Just look at this. And obi frame Madam Bimanakel. I'm so call one of the institutions. I've forgotten anyway. And I'm a register a general department. I want to call it. And also for some time now, no, almost be a busumini also almost system no ever down and yeah juma. The workers there are complaining. And was obey me or the omobema a media for so that a month for be the dekakra or almost almost. Someone to my move. Being kwaso ye in an institution, you can't talk about it. We tell ourselves say you practice democracy. Well, sometimes, and today is Friday. I just want to take it easy. But yeah, mama yendin komo kakra. Aya Akufo-Addo we na obon ho samrane o. Aya san krofo we na tro your friend say sa book na aduban etre no. Omo friend say sa book na Rollins time aduban etre no. Mo is it culture of silence? Culture of silence, right? Aya Akufo-Addo no. Wamudi chinigana nyina say and the Rollins untimi nkasa. Omo bon krofo amane organize symposiums, organize your friend say yes, omo stolen verdict and omo culture of silence. The stolen verdict near one. And omo aside try a culture of silence. Now Rollins time krofo untimi nkasa. And then Crofosro, you know, and make my cousin we actually say, I don't have any issues, but to be honest with you, when you look at the way and near my sequa, yeah, my main show a Bridger and Colano Fasu Eco School headmaster and see Osro Untimin Casa. What the hell? Guardian. Kura e friend fojo. Kuro ba ko bi so eda na che friend kwadu enyan. E mofra mo kwadu enyan no. Omo be school e wo fojo. Bridge way e ya de a e de o hawo e breye e wo mpeso yi so. Enkwada ne enso yiri a enkwada entumi ma school. Me no ka se kese ni ntia. Ke bridge o me pani pokwa me nam so kra no misro. Any crime is also material. And Kolaiba, I am share. It will be here.
on penny once a month on my school. I dare back where so say abofra bia so here school. Because baby a kolan be kwako fanim de na daache or the baby a penny. Obi ba be doctor. Obi ba be nurse. Obi ba be MP. Obi ba be MC. No obi kwa ba be minister. Na say abofra into me travel na on my school na chese asem. Ye nyina yeso mu ai na ehwe kwan ai be fa so esi ade we ya no eda mo ase. Penny bom na
yes school ne kire mo no. Ehona na enkoda no eco school. Eye bridge we ya na enkoda na efa so. No, but gojo fi agbe o ka say ma me blame eye headmaster na me blame Akufo Addo. I mean how? How? But the point they say, and headmaster can plane Osro on to me in Kasa. Because say or granting interview ma whether Accra FMO, whether Class City, Joy, whichever radio station or be granted interview mo mubiano. Any achimeri aho want na ho wagu na nanimu ase yamboa ne yiwadi. And these are his own words. Enyo bia na eka se na no also osro ono want me nka. And esisi wo baby bebre okwa finance ministry kra de airtime. And yama ekoso of finance ministry no okwa airtime. And yama tan. We are worker, you can't talk about it. These are the people, and they were talking about culture of silence during a year Rollins time. Uko police service mo obi antimi nkasa. In the military, Oma captured the military with their own people. And then Rameti so Bibusa say, in the end, this we near Ombeda clear woman. They will clear them. Who do you want to first clear woman? And this they have done it before. And I believe NDC, they will clear them. They will clear them. They will clear them. Why was it a time we drew on? I want to ask you the person we know. They will, and we will force NDC. They will clear them. They will clear them. What do you see in the They will clear them. Okuko various Okuko porter GPH. And Yama air course with GPH, you know. Some of the workers will talk to you and they will tell you, medium is slow, medium is slow. Workers agitation. May a target a yeni panibi. Hey for the leaders. Near demo to be, near transfer be, near EBD. And that is the weapon they are using. It will be careful. Ose, I now say yeah. Story be ewo brekum. And I say yeah. Story be ewo brekum. Deaf and dumb. School ewo brekum. Ano omo frey say, baby amoda enye. Ye yihu video kura my man for ehwe classroom omo dem. Nkola no adifrafo no omo frey ya. School no headmaster and then the teachers didn't crop for to a guomoso. Say Ghana Education Service for ebuso questions. Say identity and now omo ye video and the bray and then fine kosia. And kodani frafo brekum. They are punishing them. They are punishing them. Go to AMA. Obiant min kasa ho. Just say, I mean, One way ubie no a asma beka no na kyerɛ sɛ emfata mpo. Obia suro National Health Insurance Scheme, National Health Insurance Authority is not working. Enya adwuma workers ne frɛ nkrɔfoɔ ɔmo frɛ yɛ on the quiet. Ɔmo suro obia ntimi nkasa. Workers Union eniano. Bechem as senior one, thank you. Enye brekum bechem. So bekwa di konkonsansa. Bechem. Bechem. Obi a otie me bia mfre bechem school for deaf and dumb. No mo musa omo. Omo mfre omo musa omo. What is happening there? Bechem they should call. The kind of treatment omo dem kwadane namu. Simply because they are just asking for their right. Nothing much. Omo ka say headmaster emfa na yire mre wo mo. Eno obi asende me no Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service. Ya see our crampo de bobo. E how de won't be nya hwe o. E won't be nya hwe. E how de bobo. Tan. Ministry of Health. Kolebu abonifo sem ne enkwasasem a ekoso kolebu. Wusia headmasters complaints and some young be kachira o hawa omo anamu o hawa free SHS ne namu wona why no akwa you can't talk about it. And that is the system. And that's the system. Omo destroy system no. Omo say system no. And the enemy Busamo say, what is the difference between a Kufuado and a military regime? What is the difference? And I'm say need to respect men in uniform. Then I'm like, Nitu, do you have head? Who a trace will cause? Nitu is a small boy. They just picked me. What's Empire FM? No banana more. Who a trace will trace Nitu? The defense minister. Who a trace with is who cause? We should respect. We pay them. Kwasi, any a soldier for no. We pay them. They survive on our taxes. It's only a bush. A forest is a Ghana. Ena yama omo som ye powers supersede the powers of the citizens. But when you have people like Nitu, you respect na Nitu 64 battalion for Krabi betre fie. Me send the message somewhere last 2 years or last 3 years. That was it too. Obeba betrefia ma soja ni akola na ahwe wasum e wa ban bi ase. Sa time no obeye dede. Obeye dede say enikwa say soja for yesa na ya kai wo. Ye media for na na be kai wo niti wo. You are so young. Unyini ye. And you don't even think that one day obeba betrefia. Oba sifie wa ahe Tony Edu. And this Tony Edu. Me say and this opposition ma cycle will be hwe na sum cycle eya na microphone sua de a odwene wa won ti ase say respect men. Who told you we don't respect men in uniform? Who told you? Ene me na nkwamu ba na mtesi ase dondoli wa there is a family there omo accuse omo police adwumaku a wo dondoli wo se wo mo akum wo mo ade hye baako. So the only thing the family can do is that look, report the matter to the appropriate quarters. They should start investigations And that is the proper way. Sana in a civilized community and as civilized people, society, sana. You don't take the law into your hands and you do anything anyhow. And he says, you know, Sabe, as I'm born yes, you are Ashaiman. I'm a soldier, so bio. So you don't get it. Me name story anymore. And I don't want to use the hearsay. And Frankie Kakika because me nimu. But as I'm born yes, then the military attacks some people. And they say, Abusia Bakoso, a believe police forward Dondoli, Oma Kumomo Deshe. In the community, civilians, so they should attack the police service now. Is that the kind of system we want to build? Is that, and I say, soldier ni moja a different civilian moja. I mean, what Jimmy and I say argument where he say, Adia or Moya, what Jimmy? You what? Look, what Jimmy to say, Papa, until to be making that argument. Only a foolish person, a stupid person, a blockhead. Should we advise the civilians? Say they believe say police for and say until they should take the law into their own hands. No, we can't live in society like that. It's not the best. Then you have people who claim this deputy minister, defense minister, says, "Danko, so free you, so free you." So do you know why? Moving from one radio station to another, talking rubbish. And what we heard before, Mr. Rollins, 19 years, 20 years, or better. And me to be sure Kufa don't crow for me dinner to this. I'm say, crow for my badam one as or Munum Bibi or Bianim. As a one badam na, Yash saw Montare, former ministers, the deputy ministers. 19 years. 19 years, Rollins Befi. 19 years. 1 hour TB. So, your more position here, be careful. Deal with the citizens in a very civilized manner. Asemasi, Asemaba. Nobody is happy. Young guy, 22 years as to 23, I think was started life. So sad. Now, send me the one who on to be in church and ask him. And he, yo, biaya. But hey, say you see your society ni say obi anfa emran sharing nsem obi ye wade a emfane nkwa ba bia ye ne de opesa wo ye no yantimi ntra o man musa o. And you need him. That is the fear. So they are just putting fear into the system. And various, that is the fear. There are various institutions, Oko Ministry of Health, Oko Agric Ministry, Oka, Obian Timinkasa. Oya worker Usro, you dare not. Don't talk. Okasa. Abino new bedi. Adianusu AC. And sometimes Ayana yeah, obviously Dapa Niti would you see Dapa, look, let me tell you. Niti wu numde mi huwomo. Niti wu Samia Uku John Kuma Gabo Dako. These are boys I saw them. They know that I saw them. And you know more press I saw them, I know them, they know I know them. Some of them I raised them with my hands. Niti wu minam didn't say radio I say. I saw them, I know them. Why? Yes, minimum. Cabo, Jumbo, Do. I know these boys, I know all of them. And you see, my problem is the kind of things a Kufuor complaining here under Rawlings regime. Let's talk about the military. And the kind of things. And you know, it's more than say Ghana, like we are in a civil war. And you know, my no kromano. You can't pass 7 boom. Ya they come back and apologize to the family. Nobody explains why, what happened. No evidence to prove some Krofo say. Ya bro mo to akuomo. Na ajibi semwe wobni say. Enya Akufo Addo ankam nim say aban etimi accuse obi say why say ni akuno. Na yakwa akoma na busuan for compensation. Why do you compensate the family? Akufo Addo nkwa na mama hu say you can say obi a criminal na say aban kunu a ni yakoma busuan for compensation. I mentiase. So which means what shada? Debi ayana me botape bi ekyere mo. Your friend say tie oh wow, what happened? Oh, too bad. Come what tiadie? Come what tiadie kitu ebi? Come what tiadie asam kitu ebi? So, and I'm a real way pa. Say a whole headmaster. Shabridja and Kola Fasuko school. National school danwa. Then we want to help you to talk. Osimisuro. Usuro why Osimisuro Akufo-Addo? Usuro ne say. Usuro ne say. Say what can we know also on a kum nipa nti obeba beku a. Let him kill you. Maninku. Me I want to say, hey, where there o kum nipa. Aha. Maninku. What's wrong to say? She am bridge and Kwala Faso Eco School. Na school die on mutim. Anyway, me seriously. I am a hint, I decided not to talk about it. And I'll come Kotoko, I had debut on the Facebook page. And I think some was statement now. I don't know whether you have the statement with you, so you can get what the statement now, mama. Okay. So Mamenya is a Jumawe. Medobako Central Region. Nekokosha debut Central Region. Okay, so but the stolen verdict. Yes, they were also talking about a culture of silence, if you remember. But Mamenko Central Region. Yenya Elekem Kotoko. I hear revelations be. Okay, so no, I just need the pictures rather than the write-up. I just need the pictures. I don't need the write-up. And I think Elikem Kotoko write-up nini. So we will add the pictures on our Facebook page. And let me read through quickly. He writes, the Cape Coast Anafo market was demolished to make way for a supposed ultra-modern market structure with a ground floor expected to make room for 166 stores and a big hall. Okay, so pictures in here. Now, you see pictures near 2. Here, Kwame, Munchem 2. Because 2 fair artistic impressions. That is the kind of market they wanted to build. Also to Kraba. Jomama Ekai Oyesi ho. But something is happening, and we are not watching. I read this, article, Welcome Kotoko, a page, and I was sad. Okay, so don't worry your head about the write-up. Don't worry your head about it. Senkabe timi artistic impression no everyone. That 2 pictures, you see, two near. Very good. So into a show separately, so that a man for being a fair idea of exactly what Elikem Kotoko is trying to communicate. So let me take it once more. I said the Cape Coast and Afro market was demolished to make way for a supposed ultramodern market structure with a ground floor expected to make room for 166 stores and a big hall. That is 22 stores combined to serve fishmongers, sellers, and butchers. While convincing the people, they added some beautiful designs to make their story believable just to get their votes for the MPP. The first floor was supposed to house 70 stores, and the second floor, 2 restaurant facilities, 3 big halls, 2 medium and 4 small halls. The MPP told the people that within a year, the project was going to be completed, but today marks the 3rd year after the demolition of the existing old structure. So, end of the article. Oh, what me I? A market, oh. The market was there. Cape Coast and Afro market. The market was there. They went there to demolish the market and Obia Sandemeno. La Polyclinic, yes. They went there to demolish, your friend said, the market and told them, say, within 1 year, Ombesi market nevi. 3 years now. So which means in 2020, March munom koyesa, neya baba betuaba in December. So they went there to make sure say omubenya very good, excellent, good job. Excellent. Wow, demolished structure no any omo dri dining nyina agu. Omo dri enko omo market no ho na nkrofo nkom. Omo demolish place no. And omo pam adwadifo ni nyina free ho. Bebre no anu aduane abo omo. Omo ntimi nkoton niema enidi bio. Enkoda enko omo maamenum ko kopa aduane de bafie omo amomo nsa anu aduane abo omo. Omo ka che omo say 1 year. 3 years now. Then show the artistic impression omo de chire omo no. You see, when you talk to Akufo-Addo is a scammer, a liar, a scammer. Now you obi frano, I chim saka wa boy. Now I tell you the name now. Afraid room I suffer. I chim saka. You are a liar, born a liar, brought up a liar by your parents, a liar. A liar, a damn liar. Look, this way artistic impression way no the culture. Look at this. Just let more. So what to throw mu over market. Oh, you see the same thing normally I laugh for. The same thing normally I trade fair. And now obi free tamale. So I'm be building be so mo ba be ye bibi ho for the past 2 years ni. Obiansi wada. Attempt to steal those lands. They want to steal it. They are thieves. They want to steal it. But who say your friend say you say la traditional council or something. I can't tell about me. I say sa baby anya go blow no so mbesi kaya for dino. I'm saying on financial and cash. They are thieves. They are criminals. Criminals. Akronforma. They are criminals. They are criminals. Stealing lands. What do you say? Your friend say this guy and mensaka audios ne your friend say text messages be Lord come ne Tagore say Tagore your hene. On Tagore asasi bi da East Legon executive the next land be a down. Now also text messages are your friend say Lokomi ascend the amount tagoa. And it's all boast to say or no or your operations director our presidency tagon to me. Yes. I have read some of the messages. I have listened to audios. Just, you know what? They are just injecting fear into the system. Fear. Now, Ocean Law come here, or no, threat will be, or no, or operations director or presidency. And then, these are, when I'm not catching Rollins, no, say Rollins, the chicata, no, abuse power, no. And former Nima MP no, former sports minister no, your friend say Amedu say why MPP, and court aside contempt. What to Ansah will be year 2000. Tio, what to Ansah will be year 2000. What I am MPP by power. No, what you know. Say a mistake na ye ntu say agi asase no afri nsem say nkwasi asebo akufo adu ne nkro 40 kromo edi no attacking people, taking their properties anyhow, attacking people and taking their properties anyhow. That is what they have been doing. Adi amo ya no just attacking people, the poor ones, vulnerable ones in the system. Look, I'm going for a co-position. A man for be chase you more physical. I was street mu physical. Your friend say, "Lord, come catch it." I go say, oh no, some co-position crown na sasini. Hey, Lord, come. Sometimes we draw an answer and cry for so months. I said, "The other cry ni biya nya Japadia was anti-baby baby ao." Adia modebanu, you don't know. Adia modebanu, you don't know. You have no clue. Ade amode ba no you wunni ma de kro so wunni ma de kra ka mo jam obi atrasidi. Why attacking everybody, taking properties force? Messi lady bi our London miana edru baby afa the lady ni frame ya na say me ni jack kasa because look, the woman can whip like 1 hour on my phone. Na say your friend say your friend say flowers mo say splinters flower pot mo or say ene ube hunu say boy no ni din dey say you ko bubu remonacha ayigu ye no magdan osube say magdan cars e wo ho ukobusa magdana enye ono a oso ate say Canada Japan ubusa enye ono a chese omo yusu land guards force agi asase no oba mobrofo one ne ma eso no omudidi omo ayire no agi land no stores ade na muhia wo wiase ade be pa na mope ani bre omo de ani bre na ba pa wo kufado no de ani bre abaifo baye omo de baye ani bre omo ye ni bre for omo ni bre brade unu obi ada ni bre brade na mo a so serious dangerous obi ada ni bre brade owodu wo de ba akopɛ no ope Ken Ahab owodu wo de one no a wo no ope ne yire nom Ken Ahab yire nom ba ya 10 ni army commander yire ope na ni bre. So then there is omukuno no for oba no oba lady no or London migration say or frame am intimi mfa. And as my catch no I say look, they have power, they have the military, they have the land guards, they have weapons. There is nothing you can do. Onko court amobia kebiama ensi da. It will never happen. They have the judiciary. And today I heard people talking about your friend say Ghana Bar Association, another useless entity. Matechuru, flower pot, yes, I can see you. Thank you. They are grabbing, they are almost Jane Crawford near my force. Who read this some of a law come text messages in Libya? I'm like, really? Hey, we no na now more any abre organize a symposiums any day about rule of law and fine kosia. You see, onipa what is our UP tradition, they are criminals. I wonder why Kwame Nkrumah Jai Sankro for no man or more surviving. I don't make you why I'm in God gave us the opportunity to clear that tradition. He gave that opportunity to Nkrumah and gave that opportunity to Rollins, and I don't know why they sat back watching. Any brief war, a bay for Cromford, any brief war, woman yatumia, be pure money break. What's a taria yomoya? What to care more yomoya? What to be an idea yomoya? Yo, be an yomoya. Adio be a bia a yomoya. Wako bubu market. Ewo anafo 3 years ni unsi ho wabubula. And now what we are hearing is that somebody is claiming the hospital land no afekwa de omo puano no manya asase ni bia wia e dia nkwa na mo pe mo to eye holiday inn mo to hotel way mo to way e dia be nkwa na mo pe e dia ya e dia demo anase ejimi bibia mo pe bibia mo ani bre awarding contrast to yourself se sadia makeka ne ma boso as if say there is no life. Ejade ha ka kra na de minin nisika na kem. Well, ono anisika na kem. There are serious issues. The musaka de we ni mo bunu na mo kwa na mo de musaka de we ni mo bunu na mo kwa later no mo ni nkrofo de see ani pipe. They want to take possession of everything. They want to take possessions of everything. State capture. We me pay, more gun for banks. Now more don't come me. Properties, you know. Now what they quite? Yeah. Claiming lands by force. Ediana was Sukula market omo bunu 5 years ni nothing is going on. You see, they want to steal the land. No, they want to steal it. Hey, friend say, and Grofo now mbechi mo ano, si law come say, na law. We are see there be ya na we are we ma. There. The obey bia wa wie beba me se lo come wie beba ono a ti di kuro mo nkran so ro de nka because Akufo ne nkrofo the kind of conversations that some of us yet know people will face them physical man for be chase woman after they have lost power cause bonene kwaya omo ni Ghana for try to say omo ni ahoho like they don't know anybody omo ni ahoho nete. They have dealt with Ghanaians like, I say, omoba invasion, omoba war, and a winning war, no, and like they have taken everything. Omo fabi bia, omo nya yere kra omo pe. Omo nya yere kra omo pe. The Alcachan so incompetent to Kohyako to Kraba market. they also incompetent no kwhwe how we see rich wa jimi abodamunti ena akobula egu ye e class asini so nyina e ka sesika wo ho sesika no se mu adiu sesika no amao abranka betimi asini nkakra while the old building is there cause wa bodamo a wonti ase kwahwe kwaya o mo fa so esi eya e friend say terminal 3 mekan krofo a daily o mo frɛw Kufado appointees ne jimeja padio we jimi we yo chese utie nsɛm ni bi o wa na ore aho akwase antwo se ase ku no mo ye ase ku asa da o be free aban mu no ano ade chi na Yesu aba enti no I mean obi anya wo mo nya wo mu bi sometimes obi timi fro no osu obi timi di ne sa bone yam se mi wu a me kra mfa nche Akufo ne nkrofo da jim krofo japade force nkrofo jim krofo nsa ha Sa market is omobuno sa market is say o Jamestown. No, people should check. Won't check it for me. Ubitimi flow otimi susa na the obeya na me let know London say me catch and say look me o say me mo no media for so I called some few people at TV3 other places me just say o mukra follow here because you see that is what they are doing. I told the lady that look, that is what they have been doing. Yeah, they come at you at night, force for Japa de Maya. A dear way ye pay. One farm Maya. They come at you force. Yes. Sakufado say, oh, ye bear man on your live TV show. Now, man, Crawford, Quaisen, Crawford, reporting. Live TV. Obejina so just 10 minutes. Then Crawford only up. Say ono one ne Crawford chinchim Crawford Ansah Joma Japadia. Ube Crawford be pie e wo kroma e wo live GTV so. Ube hu Akufo pa o the Christian Council for ne entrance live na on now so say obi and Crawford ni bia chinchim obi sa agina sa ase ne Japadia. Mesinka within only just 5 minutes. Na sabe na senya lokomi senya MPP na abafo na memo na abafo a ena joma ama na hwe mo anim jai power ma mo a enga bra tago abo umo yo yonko ne tago no yo yonko no what do you know tell me no mo say dollar so check where were you abrabo be no abo yo yonko no. And you see, sometimes when I see them, because me who amunyina, me who amunyina, me who amunyina. And I know said I'm a catcher. Me because see radio station wakoso at the age of 32. Now a friend is a pious, not to about the combine. So I know about better a na bia ba bi wo no abaje bia bottle ba ko do te ho. Amrante okroma ye adwuma ato omo ajapade o they work me first car me toye abe wo ha kwa me despite na sign me contract me di 24 years or sign me contract am be ka twi news amano me di 24 years kwa me despite for that in this kind of buy or this kind of 93 ha eba kumase these are people who they are just stealing everything, destroying the whole country. Almost say or minor. Young man. Or bringing more journey. You know how many years Remonacha has been in this media space? Hey. Obiani ni wasem ne kakra de beto nsu anum kokokokokoko. Eya oya wabuagu. Wubugu ya project no anye. Anye eya oya. Kwabenabobie. Look, me sometimes when I look at them, I'm like, Nakuja say, Commander, the issue is that these people don't believe that they can lose an election in Ghana. And they are with the notion that even if they lose, they are not going to accept defeat, confirmed by Lord Comey live on TV. That's why they are behaving like that. Don't worry. Okay? Me say, year 2000, yeah, near was Sante mem, Tama, I Ghana for the guys on the 2 Rollins, you know. Massa. Yeah, was Sante Mampon. Yeah, near server as the last buffer to the north. A soldier for Rollins no do mo ba mampon enclave no mu ene adwa ha wo mo ba na manfo asia wo mo matwofo mienu ema besia na kum wo mo otafo kuma se tafo ema besia miensa ene mo tigina pipe krakra time no do so be kofi abeko forget about the omo keka no time no do so be kofi a wo be ko Ultiminye foko. MBP beko. Akufo ni ba omiya whoever Alanchremati whoever they will go home 2024. Meso yan to aba ni nwie they will go home. Omo ankrofo no beko dem akose dem atum. They will go home. They will go. Who bekum do say? Say time to do so say Ghana. Yeah, Ghana for nyemresa, but we have time for everything. Say time to do so say Ghana for so ubekombe mo akofia. Ubeko. Wan kasa no oda sori na 2 car. Na nam kromo bia anka bibia ankyerɛ. Ba wa wow, be can't wabusian for say, baby, I drew ye. I say, Kakrana Menyano, me could dinisa, na me coffee. Then he said, Drobabo, Pasolo, any oboima, ya, tafo, Emma, Besia. Ma Besia, and no mutijna, yes, street mupa. We are met you. Obani ni draw some fancy with reader. Na nkola to jonso na amanfo de yi ahihye bofrem ehwie nso hie agu bofre so la akwa omunim hwe awurade saa time na Rollins betwa makwa adwira ya nkola no na ekoto abo no na meka ho hwe unim boto cha ye che Palestinian fo na manfo de ayibofi bunu ekose wura mu oni adi nso hia guso within 2 days na ya gome na ene mo de ahyehyem no ebo what me say wo de amanfo ni bra abre no but they will go quietly because ade na esi no udwire aban Ansah asegu na afedi asase na mu klemi. And now me read here say la a traditional council for now one a wale osi banjo. There are nobody triko kim na bibia ni trim no empty baumia. Matis on my warning and say, on sure you know one call your friend and say, assassin or so. Bibia movia, Bibia movia, Bibia movia, Bibia. And I know Penny Biam and then a castle say, Kwabena, me pan MPP for yes, say you gumi so. Me am a Japade. I say, then can law come me. How? Then I'm say Abanisa. Yeah, Abanisa. It's all to be modest, me about you being in a see you cook, see you go chow you, see you deal. Wait. Ayi bo any mame friends mame JM ba kono na memfa enkoye adwuma. You see, today is Friday and there is so much fear in the system. I am worried about that fear. So esro no omo pugu wiem no. And if the civilians don't fight back, and we should be able to resist. We should resist it. Yeah.
1V, 1D, 1D, 1F, one child, one egg, one something, one something. That's all they do, sloganeering. And then, Ghana nyo hiamai. Yetisika so, I come to ye. Namuma ye kwai na ye ba. Ye best son your must and never ya Ghana for you never. That's all. Look at us today. We are broke. We are bankrupt. We can't pay our debts. 1V, 1D, 1D, 1F, one child, one egg, one something, one something. That's all they do, sloganeering. And then, Ghana nyo hiamai. Yetisika so, I come to ye. Namuma ye kwai na ye ba. Ye best son your must and never ya Ghana for you never. That's all.
Yeah, this is come there. Ghana nyo hiamai. Ghana nyo hiamai. Teachers could be says cow say your teacher you see, when you tell him he was born a liar and raised up a liar by lie parents, I was me both. A liar. A con man. 78 years. Sikano ever. Scan away. Scan away. He says scan away. Where is the money? Where is the money? Tell me, where is the money? COVID scar, where we are. Loans, where we are. Bajo mama second one.
Professor Jambafo, Honorable Osafo Mafo, Kendo Furiata. What a solid team. Alan Tremantin. This is the solid team. Solid team here. Professor Jambafo, Honorable Osafo Mafo, Kendo Furiata. What a solid team. Alan Tremantin. This is the solid team. Solid team here.
Professor Majang Lafo. Lancer Martin. Anyway, what's my view? Kenon Foriata. Otavo Mafo. Look at criminals. Alan Chamatino cried. Alan, it's okay. Just so no, wabon. Yeah, Alan. The kind of Alan I know. No. Obedi trade minister na muso wabon pa. Wabon Alan abon. Alan abon. Look, say MPP. No, I shouldn't give them this advice. I mean, Professor Jangwafa, Alan Germantin, Keno Foriata, Ansah Manfo. I know we are sending what a liquid team. They don't know anything. Just stealing the country. Stealing everything. Grabbing. Fighting everybody. As if some enemies. They have forgotten that they have been in opposition before and people stayed with them in this country. Like, I mean, they have forgotten. Attacking people, left, right, center. They don't care what happens next. Let's steal everything today. And I don't know. Yango, me basis ya na ya baba ya ejuma. Debi, ogwai, wasa, ewa, na ifa na going. Yango.
Give us pay capsules. A memory, Manum Bia Benmua, can name to you and I mean Kumabwa, say dear, the two SR Kum, give us pay capsules. Give it to me, baby. Give us core capsules as well. And money member now, Coco Yadia, Yadia, and Mamma Yam Timothy woman, Yadruno, Manumbi, and Mamma Demme. Give us core capsules, Mrs. Simoy. Give us core capsules. I give it to you, baby. You give it to me. Hey, give us. No, a man need job bebusiamu papa. Na bema ka give us pea capsules. And they give us core capsules bomunum dia. Na any jenny amodeno. Wabrudo. Give us pea capsules. And remember what if you do what you do one effort. Give us core capsules. I pay for a batter one more menu for an inquiry if you do me nunca home. I will draw to beer and to phone call. Give us Herbal Center, Teshi Mobile, and a Teshi Adriami. Phone numbers 0543 222 470 and 050-68-51135.
FD Ashaiman ejedi enkrato imu adia to muse eye.
CD capsules. CD capsules. CD capsules. My body say.
What body empress?
CD ointment. CD ointment. CD ointment. And also
what brand new CD empress?
Mo se wo pe immune booster pa. said you nipa kwa no beye wa adwuma said yes sir simple copper CD capsules enyaruwa mo bo rough ye nim so anante ana wa adwuma kakra bi no abra ye so week bia
enya me how pa no
enya what CD capsules nkan wo ya so am de copper bia wo house watcha
ena CD ointment
eya dwo tatahwe ada obenya ho no ko CD herbal center ya wo ye CD ointment ni CD capsules no e wo la shibi Sharom Sport ya e Benny 19 Junction na ko tie se general body pains ye no ko todwe eye no ya na e ko na poso honam ya CD ointment enti 2 days shrim e ko ya wonum di CD capsules shrim e ko wonum CD capsules no na wo di CD ointment so e massage na
menya ni nyina bi wo he
pharmacies chemical and herbal shops dudwa for 050 5767 425 and 0209 682836 apefo abata wo mo manufo ne kwada wo ni fiedum yenu nka ho FDA ahwehwe sa edwodie nkra to mu ajatum sey
Unim say onipa bia kan kro ene ne ba aya na ejine sisi so nanso ekoba say sisi ne ho kotechima ene na asempa ene dia bon ene ti ena make up for tabia herbal capsules e dia maw say yesisi ya dia pa ana age onipa bia na boso dia bomodia ne num tabia herbal capsules na aboyi di usisi mama mai na wonya sisi etimi abadwuma pa say ya ayemtim ana age yefunu ya boso ama wuntimi nya wo hohia bomodia ne num tabia herbal capsules na yi ni befi afini pedienim ama wo yefun adaho tabia herbal capsules ebuso ewo pharmacy shops any herbal shops ewo wiase afana yina ana afre ahomatrufo yi 0243686861 kai se wo ma akranufo wo your painful ana wundi infedu wo chia wonnum bi tabia herbal capsules wo sunum
Hey, see, the Mako who Greenfield Scientific Herbal Clinic. We hope that you make say and until Nomania award. A word best. Obian Trust Emma Dumbia, the Cassa, and as a boy, the anchor to them.
Greenfield Scientific Herbal Clinic. As I want to say, near Kuro Etuno, near Anchor Ewanum, Obana Bemo Power, and Yarwankaye.
Nancy, I make us say, and Espana called Ekayano. Greenfield at Arumanti and was also a and also a PM.
Greenfield Scientific Herbal Clinic. Our ultra modern laboratory. And a diagnostic machine, sir. Associated with anyone, Casa. Greenfield Scientific Herbal Clinic. And one Mungadogon, Estate Junction. Last stop. Flower 0243 983 906 and 0261 651 898.
Greenfield.
God is our healer.
Greenfield.
Your last stop.
I believe.
Wabatele Accra,
Nana kwabenabobieansah. Berema bemeti garafuru kube puntimpunasi sokode. No wakachira katabin say you. Wati umkensen. Kwabena, keja guma mniyanko.
Wabatele Accra,
Nana kwabenabobieansah. Berema bemeti garafuru kube puntimpunasi sokode. No wakachira katabin say you. Wati umkensen. Kwabena, keja guma mniyanko.
Wagwe jeke. Let's do this. Quick one, just 10 minutes. Let's do this. From Monday to Friday. Master, I guess I won't try to make a crowd within the next 10 minutes. Your opinion. We deal with citizens, and I say my citizens. Nesukabi, tell me, and Yama Kosunina over a week. Why didn't you say? 03022088090 live on Accra 100.5 Citizen Show. Hello.
Commander Boam.
Yes, sir. Mpacha first of free.
Commander, you frame me Abaya Mikata Ashaiman.
Mpacha Abaya tell.
Yo, Midasi. Yama merely Pluma Krugu or Domi. Anna
Abaya, please, let's move.
Yo, Midasi. I am say, now what we munina in somewhere to Ashama. I am man penny, a Kufuado, Etimia state of the nation. I went to me and can watch them. Bobie, I wrote some more. Your man, Penny, I knew your mind, Muchete. Who, ye or Timemufono, who's Guinea, but I them go to Amononipe. I know this is in Kwamonia. Now your man, Penny, at to find at to on the post. Now, ma Ebusia for Shadi. It's your man, Penny way, I can afford a 2 Abama. Bobie, and you want to me, I find the me regarding your man, Penny way as a president. I want the second term because to me have a pay dinner and you're gonna find that to Abamano. And your judiciary, any electoral commission, I know my elected papa, I know Tia Konyasuna is a Muna or this Mamfo. If you ever see that Ghana force, you catch them with the MPP are binding you, especially in another damn Kwado. What just what we see, but the other guy said, Papa, ever cutting sword work from Katamasu or Babeti Hospital. I'm in for a war body to Bobie okay. Mumusan and the president said that hospital now cast over Tiama, yet for Katamasu for Narcos. I
remember a hospital no Munsi.
Oh, Bobie, and not put up for hospital now, Papa, ever cutting sword in for body to that hospital in the separate say. Foundation cry 2 years. Foundation cry 2 years. If your man penny, just your contact for any other someone has sent him. Oman to create the engine and Kakra.
May I say, my make of another caller on the line? A quick one. Hello.
Hello.
Pacho Akwaba, Yanko.
Commander.
Yeah.
Me Pacho Bibri. And now only Papa Bicasa a song. All by the farming, or your farming will be at them.
I know about a board,
me Pacho. Commander, Miss Srell. Program now, we are no a year. But my Suyam was in a day, say contribution here, the new back song. Now, who they are 2 drafts. Miss Srell, me, you they don't allow me to talk to you. Momu give me no my song, me Pacho. I want to get some.
Office, me office.
Bobie, Pacho, me not time, Ben. Who them on time, I will come to the office. Let somebody accept me. I want to talk to you. Me was so many ideas about farming and making it the
Mate, me Pacho, dear bra, Oba office, I'll be me produce and then you talk to him.
Kwachi, me kwachi akasa wa mami kwambe. I'm making what you
and I'm say Obaba office now or
I was there on 2 occasions.
I see.
Yes. So if you can let somebody talk to me, please.
Okay. Mate. Because apart from office, I don't know. Okay, what about reception or made in Krabeja receptionist now?
Me that's it.
All right, okay, thank you. All right. My man go for another caller. Hello. 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 Let's go. Okay. Hello.
Hello, Commander. What to say?
Boko, Pacho, first of free.
Oh, just your crown you down. What say? Do you have any?
Pacho say.
Now, my Pacho, Commander, are you willing Ghana or you are willing our political parties? I'm a young papa, a man, penny, BBN, or call the BIA2. Because on the last time the war country is trying to mind it, who you have a crown and a wild. It's all you. I mean, Bishop, your president is figure bank, and you did declare. Or cover 4 or 5 figures. One in particular figure now because afraid that's why I bet him in 2016. And I am saying this who will be at us. Not only they are quite controversial. And more decisions should be made. So we have Ghanaian towns. 12, 2021. What's ongoing, presidential, whatever it is. You grant whatever, easy to satisfy it or whatever it is. And to that, I say, no, my patrol. Judges do the same wapanti. Well, no, maybe a person now, Capera, we are done any. We are NDC, we are CPP, we are PNC. Because I don't know my MPP was supported. Now, I am mistake that. I want no year from Sunda. But why are my penny for about 8? I'm sorry, you're not even first idea that is done of my family. Yeah. No, or Cabida. Who do you call Fushika? I am. They say no be open in town. Who did the morning? Born in a property now, man. 50 cars is over. No, but we also need the money is there. Who was up? I was a photo program. So that is a more money is now for you. If you ain't passing, and the one you are comparing, you I'm a gross, I'm a big order. All in the hospital, the ambulance are to about for years. I'm a turn now, I did a crack, trouble to the show, watch you. No, can't be a trouble free. You one year, how many years you can do something. It is not a money and penny for me. I'm taking our college. We are this new power nation. Young Panasa, I have a year of the cow. I say I'm some account. Who would say that? Wouldn't say crash for a boss of power.
Okay, all right. That's it. I guess I'm your because I'm on for actually. Why? Anyway. All right, I'm going to that caller. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. But your first of all,
I'm from East Legon.
Okay, East Legon for Yanko.
I'm MPP for I'm on Canada. Ansah let's go about 2024. MPP for the pre Umedan in Ninja or Ghana. Good day, Umedan in Ninja. Yadi Yankasa. Sana Akufaro and the crop on Muya Ghana. Yes, we are Bobie. Muria Mukoso, Muya Juma.
Okay, I'm going to pick another caller on the line. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Bobie.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir, Majiso.
Miss Refi, Ashaiman.
Okay, Bacha Yanko.
Bobie, last Olympics me has match in Fieko for Mukoye. And the Hassan Kotoko, almighty Hassan Kotoko. Now, my phone go back. Oh, Papa, Uma, a Yasa tea. Uber Jarol for a cost studio, what there, a gate fee. At the new inti Hassan Kotoko, pa, my phone go back in the inti. Uber was there. Oba partner, conform Kotoko for a crabbing and man of fans. Obia, new inti, next time. Why love you say a room? They say, or Cocomatin, I room. Oh, my! You say this year. Oh, my school for one DSS. Oh, we said that. Yeah, mom be brave school. The teacher for no money scar this year. 2,000, 3,000. And then we are 7 replacements. You scar 4,000, 3,000, 1,005. Where I'm up for way for who's bad stadium where 6 months. And new hinting I am up for compact.
Mate, may I say, my man of another caller on the line, a quick one. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother. I'm Pacha first of all.
Actually, I'm Madina.
Okay, Madina from me and Koi.
Who can't say about Nanado, no dying and new market here. If you can't say what Busukula market, I am interior minister, MASI. Now, may can't say. Sukula marketing, ye Ghana for NXT. Ghana Angona Aibe NXT. Or we say so Penimoa, Yamano Pine, Omesin Gaios. Sano Muya Bubu,
now, almost Busa marketing in that way.
Namini Ghana, Sano Bubu, they buy number 2.
Okay.
We say investigation.
Marty, that's it. All right. Mefabe last 2 callers. Be hello.
Kwabenabobieansah.
Yes, darling.
Yes, dear. How many are you? Happen to say.
Yami adum boko haje.
Hey, Kobi, minimum so your bread out. Yeah. Kai breeze FM. Hey, minimum be na ye charge of mama da kwa oh, your bread.
Zipi.
Inshallah. Wa kasama meru a o kan sendi. O si akufo do ne nkrofo. Omo ne ga abetena te se. Omo atamfo. Omo ni aba betena te se ne ye yankoa. Ene show ma se ni ka bibia o kan sa se mi wie pe na meni tata nsuo. Minia, oman mu nya de bi mu o. Oman mu nya de. Ena oman nu mo ye hu. Minia, unama na usuro. Sesei emrantie twa ni pasikan agi phone free ensem. Amanfo twa ni pasikan agi bag. Esan so pesika. Sometimes obetnete na analyze ya. Na wakase na mrantie yi, ombende ekom fita we enti nipa be ye bibia ensem fata. Akufado nyina nya na hwe. and this happens. George Floyd ewu America. 4 years ha. Na say ne ya kwa shama kwa ko brim Ghana for say as a commander-in-chief of armed forces. Went me and kashi and found wait to Ghana for say papa we don't know ono ni sika na oba bepe. Enti Ghana for muma ye yiri ye ho na ye independent for the second term no and from Ghana 2024. All
right. Okay, my main way. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon, Bobie.
Good afternoon, sir. Nyami Adomboko.
Bobie Vessel, Michia, Kwame Committee and Highway Station. Otiopa, Otimo, on your easy.
Medana say.
Bobie, Mamika, some Joe, MPP government or margin with him. I have been a wide you from a academic no Kubu judges or more than Guna Kozia Soda. Why do you with him? From Kopo Mubu Mudina, will be an argue with him. Can the economy nae? There's a auto munto. Near me, young says, Uncle Fobo Mudina, bear me and said, almost on the president. Now, where you are the president, you could cry in the Airbasia. Where you are the president. Baumia, can you wire won't no baby and dream what's also the president? Bobie, your chum, 2024, your chum, here, money I mean,
yes, so Beninya me and now live on Accra 100.5. Yeah, the massive be you have a best studio near Baba Bedin Komo. And then come on, you can now train 7 in our bomb. We are talking about the new CI, the Ashaiman, Ghana Armed Forces issues, and a cathedral parliament. See, more a best set probe into it. But we are not making some say Dondoli Ewa Upper West region. Another family accused police or Mokum this year. So we are talking about a year of justice. Then you have issues at Kumasi. You see, Bobie, it's an argument that can it's our old bass nebisi. Now, a cotton mu 2 years. So the koyo, or muche no eche no. At once one or mukuno. The point is, say, you encourage law enforcers, a more. A farm Russia or Monsemwa. How can we talk to the civilians? Say, look, and you say, what the Embra, Esha will say, Mayor, the open. So these are some of the issues. And then the matter say, yes, in Nipa 37 now, or more Echi or more call barracks, and then Omujai or more. Ombejai or more under bridge or Mudu Cabison or you or Musi and Omujai will be out quite say. So, and your man said that we have a veteran journalist here in the studio and a businessman as usual. I was just talking about him anyway. Orare Monacha, our studio, I'll say. Then Oliver Baka Vomao, convener of Fix the Countries, who will come and join us in the studio. Then Felicity Nelson, and so a broadcaster and a member of the Fix the Country. And also Baba joining Chairman Akwaba.
Yeah.
If he's your pastor, and then also your friend is a real lunch, no, a free so by an intimacy abuse. Yeah, that's a very but so far, answer never issues. No, a chrome to say pay your analysis and near my picking of form, economic statistics, a chrome temperature. To say.
Well, we need to. I think that things are tough.
Yeah, yeah. Pastor, just use your microphone.
I think that.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, it's better.
I think that things are tough, and the people are looking for direction. They are looking for 2 things. First, they're looking for relief, emergency relief, and to know how they are going to live this life, how long, when will things be better.
Okay, emergency relief, as you
because when you have a problem that is affecting you now,
You can't sit down and wait. You need to resolve your problems. If it's an economic problems, you need an immediate way to resolve the problems. The nature of economic problems is that you can't postpone it. If you have to eat, you can't postpone eating. So you need to resolve it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when there's a problem of economics, a very serious problem. It's very, very serious.
No, but
problem.
Obi argues it has been there for so many years. That's how it is.
No. It's not been there for so many years. There's a difference between, let's say, a problem and a crisis. We've had economic problems, but now we are having economic crisis.
Okay.
And so you have a situation where and I hear it's always been admitted that government is the biggest spender in our economy, which is very unfortunate, but that's what it is. And so when the government...
Are unfortunate?
Oh, I think, sir, if you look at other economies, the private sector appears to have a lot more spending.
Okay.
And so if you have the government being the biggest spender, then you're having a big challenge on your hand. So if the biggest spender is bankrupt, so you can imagine what is going on in the economy. Nipana, I say over Bushemna, Osikani no woman, Nisika Nasa. Moko yeah, on no discover. Mo ye family meeting on no discover. The mo ye bia on no discover.
Thank you.
Na afe Nipano Nisika Nyasa.
Okay.
Nipa nisika nyasa.
Yeah.
Inti nisika sadia na say agonegu. So that is the reality of things. And I feel say managers of the economy, it looks like either they don't know what they are doing or they are completely out of touch. When you listen to them, because you see, after crisis they will always come, right? When you're in government and there are crises, they will always come. But the direction that you go is what gives confidence. There are times when you don't really have to even put money in the economy, but when people see that you're on the right track, they will help you to make it happen because they believe in the credibility of it. You can't, but people will not support you when they realize that you yourself, it doesn't look like you appreciate the enormity of the problem. If you wake up every day and you are blaming that the reason why Ghana's economy is what it is because of the war in Ukraine and Russia, there are statistics, my brother. I feel like they can tell that to those people who don't. There are statistics to show.
But it's almost said that now. Say, Debbie, I will be better studio. I'm a question, and even say, Monsieur, may now for them people be a buson. Chairman, is this a woman? Ana omunim normal seda. Ana omon pesa omobeye. What is which?
So there are two things: government and politics.
Hey, no chero say one kasa dia momo anti and man ni na beba.
Okay, anyway. Well, there are two things. First of all, government likes to spin. There's a theory they call consistency and justification.
Yeah.
Which is that every government would like to be seen as consistent. And so when I said old school now Obabia catch us the media I before they me worried be that me worried be that and I before you say no more you say now 10 years more years school be a bonne bra koshia na ni kro igboni kesi
come
ukun din say igboni but we are going to have US now on the cry about charity crowd order that. So what they're doing is that they are justifying. They are trying to remain consistent.
We are
by justifying what they have done. It's just what many governments do. So they are trying to spin. They have run. They came into office promising everything.
Yeah.
Now they have realized that even the ones that they came to meet, they have destroyed it. So what then do you say? You have to blame someone. In order to remain consistent, you have to justify something, and the justification they are giving is that there is Ukraine war. If you look, and then when you ask them, what is your track record? Look, in 2018 we had the best record, but 2018 was just an offshoot of 2017 and 2016. 2017 and 2018. At that time, the legacy that NDC had left for them, which is the IMF program and the IMF
other
program,
public
really,
funds are no more
everything was running. So you couldn't have achieved that record in 2017 because you just took office in 2017.
Yeah.
So between 2017 and 2018 is the one they tout as their best record. We all know how they got that best record. So one would have expected, say, from 2020 coming is when the programs that you have put in place, is beginning to yield fruits. Also, nothing. So they say it's COVID.
Because Anitalawa just sending a message. You say, don't forget the almighty COVID.
COVID is the reason. And after COVID, Ukraine war. But you see, if you want to assess how, let's say, Ukraine war will affect Ghana, first of all, you have to look at the economic relationship between Russia and Ghana and between Ghana and Ukraine. The biggest, and I hear the top fertilizer there, but you see, I don't know, but I hate people look into my face and tell me rubbish. It's what I hate. So there are global records of what you import from Russia and what Russia exports. Yes, there's record, there's value, there's everything to it. Ghana, our biggest transaction with Ukraine, I think, is manganese.
Yeah.
So what happened to manganese? Okay, and what is the value of that export? For which reason, if even it is not happening again, your whole economy has collapsed. It's just ridiculous. What is the balance of trade between Russia and Ghana? What is it? So much so that a problem with Russia now, your economy is completely bankrupt. So it's just so when you look at them talk like that, you realize that they don't have a sense of direction. They've lost their way. Okay, so many of the things they say, COVID, my brother, if this government was sensible, and I use it advisably, if this government was sensible, they had the best opportunity during COVID to turn the whole nation around. The amount of money that I tell you, the amount of money that entered the economy, and the fact that that money was not money we were using to export things, import things. It was not things we're changing into dollar and will affect our currency. But that was money that was supposed to be spent in the economy. You realize that they missed a big, but what happened? They were just blowing the money. And when they say bring evidence, they can come and ask me to bring the evidence and see what will happen in this country. You see, we all understand there's crisis. And some of us try to be a little bit more considerate because people are angry. Okay, but when you listen to these people, when you listen to the government people, when you talk, they bring evidence. Okay, if they really want evidence, I can challenge them to a debate. I can challenge them to a debate and say, you want evidence of corruption in COVID? Okay,
but
give me a
They will never do
That's
it.
why I'm saying that they are lying.
Yeah, you don't.
So they are justifying the fact that they've misapplied the money, they've blown the money, they've blown their chances. The economy has completely collapsed, and they are blaming it on COVID. If you look at COVID, I'm saying all of us, government, everybody, come one platform and tell me that COVID. I heard the president say it yesterday that everything that was done in COVID was above board. I pity him. I pity the president because it's either he does not know what is going on in his government, or he is just throwing dust into the eyes of the public. That's what I'm saying. He's just either throwing dust or he does not know what is going on in the government. So there are some people you can tell them this. You can tell that Ukraine is the cause of your problems, but COVID, free SHS. If you look at the corruption that is going on there, no amount of IMF bailout will solve our problems. The amount of corruption in this system, in the government at the moment, whatever money is like you're fetching water in a basket. Odi kentenya konsu. Odi nsuo no guma o maswa. True. First of all, the government is bloated. So you're having to throw IMF money inside the government that needs so much money to survive on its own. Second, the architecture of corruption that exists in the government is so serious that no amount of money, if you don't stop that kind of bleeding, whatever money you put in, whether it's from World Bank grant or Japanese grant or IMF bailout or whatever it is, when you put it in that basket, that liquid basket, so I look at them and I laugh. You have a system where they're saying, look, pensioners, you've worked your life. Some people have worked in public sector 40 years. Okay? For those who started working in public service early, 40 years. Everything that you have saved, we can't pay. And you say, I'll pay in 2028. Most times, you and I know. What is the how long do people live in Ghana? 65, 70, they are gone. Okay? And the retirement age is 60. So you just imagine 2028, if you retired at 60 and your pension is going to be paid in 2028, they will pay it to your children. I don't know who will be alive by then to collect.
Just
like you are going to die before the time. You're going to die before the time. A lot of the people survive on this for their medicals, so they know. And you and I know, who do from 45, 50, 60 I say engineer a week. So most times there's a lot of medical bills, but they know that, okay, at the end of every month, I know I'll get this amount. If I have diabetes, I know the medications I need to buy. I know that I need to take care of these small things. Food, health, all of those things. And so they've planned their life that way after retirement. So when you wake up and you say, the economy has collapsed because Russia has gone to war and COVID came. It's not my fault. So therefore, your pension, I'm going to give you a haircut. Take it or leave it. You see, when you behave like that, it's like, and I hear nobody knew COVID will come. One of the arguments they have, nobody knew. And that's why I'm telling you that these people, they don't know what they are doing.
But
no.
Yes, of course.
Nobody knew that, okay, we had a plan, but COVID came to disrupt it. That's the president, that's the vice president, that's the finance minister, that's everybody's talking point. Is that not it? You see, and that's why I'm saying that it's either they don't know what they are doing.
But Anita Lawal says, but IMF even said it, that yes, COVID, Ukraine war has contributed to the current situation.
No, you see, but IMF is talking in terms of the global impact. But inside the global impact, there's a ratio of how much Ghana's economy is completely, in my opinion, is very disconnected to the. We are just buying. We buy. All we do is we don't export much. So, if, for example, we were doing a lot of exports to America, China, all of those countries, Ukraine, Russia, and you realize that because of COVID, we could not export. Then you can say that, well, COVID has hurt us. Ukraine war has hurt us, right? But our economy is more of a consumption economy. We take money and buy from China. And for the first time, China was closed. So whatever you needed to buy it locally. So all the money that should have gone to China is in Ghana. All the money that the government was giving to spend, they spent it in this economy. Where did it go? Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So yes, globally, COVID might have had an impact on a lot of economies. But those are the economies that are doing things like export. So you're dependent on export, and now there's no export. For that reason, your economy is crumbling. But what is Ghana's export? What do we export? So much so that if we were not exporting within the COVID period, we say our economy has collapsed to the extent that we cannot pay. Look, this government knew before COVID that the economy was going to collapse.
Before 2020.
All this Japan deal and all of that were in preparation for the fact that if we didn't get money before this date, the economy was going to crash. So they were preparing. Unfortunately for them, the good people of Ghana changed parliament. If they had not changed parliament, by now, what was he looking for? 500 million, was it not it?
Yes.
Yeah, 500
from the Japan deal.
From the Japan deal, he was looking for $500 million. He knew before COVID that he needed that money. Before election, they knew that the economy was in a tank. So, for me, you can say whatever you want. IMF can say, look, IMF, World Bank, go and see the COVID thing. It's just that Auditor General does general audit. He doesn't do specific audit. The corruption even among the World Bank people.
Breaking it down here, general auditing, specific auditing, what example?
For example, I can diagnose you that you have certain symptoms, okay? That the symptoms that you are having, I can conclude that is probably malaria. But a lab test,
okay,
when I draw your blood and I do a lab test, it can tell you that maybe you have COVID and it's not malaria. Okay, Auditor General will tell you that you collected 6 million from this guy and you say you were going to supply 200,000 face masks.
Yeah,
but you ended up supplying 100,000. So therefore 100,000 or 200,000 is in, it has not been supplied.
Yeah.
Auditor General will not tell you that, for example, they awarded a contract to the minister's son, or they awarded it to this person, and they awarded, and that all these contracts that were awarded went to relatives and family members of A. That's not what Auditor General tells you. So, and that is where the corruption is. If the corruption is not the balance sheet. I have a balance sheet. Once I have supplied the item, I can give you a receipt. Once I see a receipt, it's what World Bank also does. They give you the project goes through an audit, and it's the same audit I'm telling you, the symptoms and diagnosis. Once you have your audit report, what was World Bank chasing the government for? They were chasing them for audit report. What is the audit report about? Is that you collected this amount of money, therefore give me an account of how you spent it. That's all it is. Audit account is more of income and expenditure, most of it. But on the corruption issue, that this is a government that came, you remember, the president actually used to give us a statistics of how much money he thinks he has saved because projects went into tender. Have you realize he has stopped? He did it for 2 years and he stopped. So, for example, how many of the contracts went through public tender? And they're going to tell you, there was lockdown.
Most of it there
was lockdown. Even as of 2022, they were still awarding contract without tender.
Anyway, Chama mami nko Ashaiman mrasisi akwekwa na mekwa ejume bi honorable Ernest Dogbe Nogbe MP for Ashaiman and Finance Committee, Defense and Interior Committee member of Parliament. Chairman Akwaba.
Yo, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to your listeners.
Boko dear. Mehu se bread ya wa brebi pa wo kasa radio so o fushia on crop for awia ikra na mete se o kasa omode 37 no na aka wo military for no no omode omu nyina asa ya ba
34
what me no omashia omo ba wa hu omo
the way the whole thing happened and no ana CPS catching say by close of the evening, they will release them. I said, okay. So I was expecting, say, when they release them, I'll get the information. So this morning, I spoke with him, and then he told me that he has released them. But per my investigations, the way they were released could not make it possible for them to even come and meet anybody or to locate us. Or let me say, we were not able to locate them yet, but they are all in the community. So I ask that they come so that I'll meet them this evening. So this evening I'll be meeting all of them.
Okay.
But after this morning, I haven't seen them. I understand they just dropped them at the bridge and asked them to go home.
Okay, but so far, a free become it on Casa around 12 midday. A Bepim Sabre, what mini a binomo akasa, like victims nimbi akasa, and what me attract you almost so we were.
Oh, yes, for the victim, most of them, I know where they are. We have spoken. And even the previous one, those who were released earlier, I met them and I spoke with them. And so for that one, everybody, we know where they are, and we set up a table also for them to come and then register their names. And it's only the 34. I spoke with one or two, but I'm here to gather all of them and then address them once again.
But is it true, sir, like families need to complain, say they can't find their loved ones?
Well, that was answered yesterday in the morning. And we were thinking, say, those people might have been part of the 34 who were still under military custody. And so since they were released, I have not had that complaint as we speak now. I don't know. Nobody has complained to me yet that they haven't seen their loved ones.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. But Honorable Chechrimu, what really happened? Is it say Yenya Sojani Kumanwa Washenen Kwano? Is it say a mob na attacking one answer or be in a scuffle? And I say, what are you hearing? What is the issue?
Well, it's not a mob attack, and it cannot be mob. If it was to be mob attack, at least by this time would have gotten somebody to be arrested. I think one of them at least would have been arrested to give us further and better particulars. But unfortunately, what we are getting is it's like a scuffle between him and one or two people that happened, and we are still looking for the perpetrators. We are not finding them yet. So it was just an unfortunate incident. You know, for the past 6 years, we haven't had or we haven't recorded this kind of crime in Ashaiman community, but this one is just an isolated case that has befallen us and creating a lot of tension and animosity on the ground.
But more any idea say Nkrofokrono eti Ashaiman, and I said they came from somewhere, and
well, for that one we don't know yet. All that we are aware of was police invited the purported girlfriend, allegedly a girlfriend, for interrogation. And what I have gathered from the police as we speak now, it was like the guy visited her, the lady, and then at that point in time he asked to go home, and then he left, and the lady also went to sleep, only to wake up in the morning to hear that the guy was murdered. And so we can't substantiate the fact where the people came from. That is the point here we are talking. That's why I'm saying that the way and manner the military entered into the community, to me, they have tempered with evidence, because if you were to be a criminal, or you were to be the one who might have committed the crime, and the way and manner the military entered, you would have absconded, you would have run away. And so they should have allowed the police to do their due diligence, proper investigation, and fish out the person. But unfortunately, as we speak now, we are still looking for the perpetrators.
Yeah. Chairman, say we are talking about compensation. And I heard you talking about it this afternoon. Yes, of course, unim sika potting say a beer. Yebemo be 2,000 Ghana cedis or 3,000 Ghana cedis or 4,000 Ghana cedis or whatever. Then I heard you talking about or more pre-plano, depending on the
level, the degree of injury.
Injury and almost better. But yes, the situation, even the government is trying to defend what Gov did, because from all indications, you have to say a command from the top. The deputy defense minister too has been talking on radio and also making similar comments like, yes, I mean, it's an order So obviously now the government as a whole take responsibility, and it seems like they don't show any remorse. Now you are dealing with a whole government that they are not showing any remorse in this matter. So how do you demand compensation?
Yes, yesterday I met with the military high command, the defense minister, his deputy, and the defense and interior committee. Somewhere along the line, the interior minister also joined. And frankly speaking, they admitted that there were excesses. It means the defense minister also apologized on behalf of the army. And then even the CBS himself also acknowledged that there were excesses. They were not expecting what happened. So if that kind of admission that there were excesses it's enough grounds for you to motivate those people or compensate those people who suffered those excesses. And so despite the fact that they sanctioned it, does not mean that the excesses should just be washed under the carpet. They have to look at it. And
okay, so the point is, even in your presence, they admitted that they sanctioned the operation.
In my presence, they admitted and they apologized to people of Ashaiman through me. And even the Committee of Defense and Interior, we were all there. And I mean, my chairman, everybody was there where they admitted that there were excesses and they apologized. And
so then, Honorable, let me ask this quick question. What exactly did they ask them to come and do? What was the modus operandi of the operation? What is it?
According to them, they were looking for the criminals, the perpetrators who killed the soldier. So they were coming to arrest those people, to swoop and then arrest.
So with the common sense argument, so they asked them or instructed them to go to Ashaiman at dawn and start knocking at people's door looking for a murderer. Is that the instructions they gave them?
So those were the excesses. What they narrated yesterday, the instruction was that there's a place in Ashaiman which they claim, I don't know, as the MP, I don't even know, there's a place in Ashaiman called no-go area. And so they asked their men to go and ransack that place so that they could get the criminals who live there to the barracks. But unfortunately, according to what the CBS narrated yesterday, there were excesses. The excesses were fact that they go and knock at somebody's door, pull the person out, somebody will be going to market, somebody will be going to work, they ask the person to lie down, they will beat the person, drink dirty water, etc. Those are the excesses that they admitted to. And so you realize that even though they sanctioned it, they agreed with me and with the generality of Ghanaians that they have gone overboard.
So which means obviously they can identify those who went for that operation.
Exactly. So since they sanctioned it,
so they know them. They have their service numbers with them.
Yes. They know
so
them.
which means they can punish them.
Yes, if they so wish, and they need to punish them. That we gave you a simple instruction, but you have gone beyond the directives we gave you. They should punish them, otherwise it will continue.
No, so in your presence, did you guys discuss anything about the Ghana Armed Forces hierarchy, punishing those who are involved in these excesses?
Yeah, so that is why I appealed to them yesterday that one, there are two things. We are demanding several things. One is to punish those people who perpetrated the crime on the innocent, residents of Ashaiman, and two, the compensation aspect, and three, the first and foremost, this thing that I asked them to do, is to go to Ashaiman, gather all the victims, talk to them, reassure them about whatever transpired, and also apologize to them.
I am interested with the issues about punishment, because this kind of issues do happen. I think about 2-3 years ago, similar incident happened. I may be wrong. I stand to be corrected. But then on several occasions, not even Ashaiman alone, we have separate incidents where the military have attacked, civilians, and at the end of the day, it's like, oh, we are doing our investigations. Now, with this issue, did they give you a promise that, yes, they are going to punish the people? Because in the first place, they have agreed that, yes, they gave out the instructions. They have agreed that, yes, there were excesses, which means somebody did something wrong. And that person needs to be punished. Did they give you any promise that, yes, they are going to punish the people?
That promise never came yet. What we decided on, they decided on yesterday, was to go to the scene, ascertain the fact, and also look at the degrees of injuries. We'll come back and sit on it. But you see, it will be difficult for them to punish anybody because they sanctioned it. And so that is why we, the residents, and including myself as the MP, as I told them, I will provide leadership. It is only a constitutionally mandated institution that can enter into it and profess punishment thereon. And so that is why we are petitioning Shraj or even the law court to look into the matter. Because if you want to leave it for the military, I doubt if they will be able to punish any other person. They will be able to punish their own who have gone there since they sanctioned it. And so the best place we can go is the Shraj to also make some recommendations.
Anyway, I have a question in mind, and I don't think you stand in a better position to answer me. Because, look, we talk about civilians hiding criminals. So a civilian will just go and commit a crime, run back to wherever he lives. And the advice is that, look, just try and give the person out. And if we have a law enforcement agency like the Ghana military, and they have accepted that we gave the instructions, there were excesses, which means bonny. And if they cannot give out their own, I don't know the kind of society we are breeding. I don't know.
Exactly the case. You see, that's why we are all worried about it. You just cited some examples that it has happened in the past and nothing has been done. And so if you leave it with, look, we went to war, the Committee of Defense and Interior went to war. We came up with certain recommendations. We were able to ascertain the fact on the ground, and we came up. But when we asked the police to do that, you see the difference between the investigation they did, how they were able to shield their own people, and we were able to fish them out and tell Ghanaians that no, the fault came from the police. So I don't know whether it's institutional problem to be shielding their own, whatever it is. But this act is made. The fact remains that certain crimes were perpetrated. Innocent residents were molested. And brutalized. And so whoever has done that, whoever even issued the command for those people to just enter into a community, begin to molest people, should also be brought to book one. And those people who did the act must also be brought to book. But whoever or whichever institution will do that, we will still pursue it to the latter to make sure that those perpetrators were brought to book.
It's so sad. But then, there's nothing much you can do. Let's see. So definitely more. Okay, all right. Okay, but I hope say the situation is calm. Everybody is okay.
Well, everybody is okay. The situation is calm now. Now, calm has returned to Ashaiman, but that is not to say that people are still, or they are not living in fear. They are still living in fear, panic, and fear. So. People are also taking advantage of that situation by creating unnecessary fear and panic in the society.
Like what? Give me an example.
Oh, somebody can just, you be in the community, then you see somebody running just on top speed that they are coming, not knowing nobody is coming. Then everybody will have to run into him. Everybody will have to run into his or her house. The motorbike will be passing and say they are coming, you see people just running on the street. It's just, that is the mental torture they are going through.
That is bad. Anyway.
Isn't it funny?
Very funny, eh? Anyway, almost by the same.
I was addressing the gathering that was only 2 days ago. The same people, the victims, the 150 and other, victims. We were addressing them before like somebody ran past our area that they are coming. They nearly scattered the meeting for me.
Oh.
It's a serious matter.
Serious matters.
People started running out. I said, how can you be talking with the NC and other opinion leaders here? You think that military man will come here and start molesting you? You sit down, let's have our meeting.
It's not a joke anyway. All right.
It's not a joke. It's a serious matter.
Anyway, honorable. Yeah, that's it, Bray. Yeah, that's the part. All right. Okay, so that's it live on Accra 100.5. So, but back to a studio. Ray, I don't think you want to go back to this economic indications because I can see it's but this is the situation. In fact, it's one of our main topics. Then we will deal with the SCI, whether you feel, but Ashaiman issues, and yet when any even before this matter, my main farmer from Kwabena. So let's go back to Parliament in 2020 after a year elections. Almost swear in a year. Your friend is a MPs. Now time when almost to about speaker. Speaker time now, right? Yeah, to about speaker. That was 2021. Patch up me right 2021 and I'm to about speaker now, right? Okay, so Yanko Parliament and here the same military for whatever reason.
It was just ridiculous. Now nobody.
Attention, please. Everyone should sit down. The military will go away. Everyone should sit down. Everyone should sit down. All of you. Everyone down. Everyone down. Everyone should sit down. Take your seats. Everyone should take his seat or her seat.
Because Parliament with its powers, then one day for whatever reason, Ghana military decided to invade our Parliament. Force. That payment, nothing. But I know when it comes to these issues, you understand it more than I do. And Ashaiman, here we come.
Bobie, I think so this is a very, very serious matter. And when I listen to the MP, I worry a little bit. To be honest with you, I worry a little bit. First of all, let's break the things down.
Okay.
A soldier who was not on duty. First of all, the killing of the soldier needs to be condemned.
Sure.
No matter what the reason is, nobody has the right, police, military or civilian, nobody has the right to take another person's life because either he has committed an offense against the state or against that individual. That is condemnable. And when you listen to the family of the soldier, you realize that this is somebody they have invested in for so long, and he's just at the prime of his life. So to have his life whisked away like that is really, really painful. And I am hoping that the killers will be found. I'm really, really praying so. I think the military has messed everything up, but I'm hoping that still the police can do some magic. But first of all, we have to unpack the issues. One, he's a soldier, all right, but he's also a citizen. Okay, so the same laws that the citizens benefit from are the same laws that he benefit from.
Okay.
Second, he was not on duty. Okay, he was not on any military assignment. So that also has to be understood. So therefore, if anything happened to him, he has to be treated as a citizen.
Okay.
The same laws that if, God forbid, any citizen was going somewhere and a misfortune like this happened to him, is the same process. There's no, under the law, there's no different law for military or police people if they are victims of crime. They are supposed to go through the same process.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is that we don't know what happened. As we speak now, you hear bits and pieces. Was it a mob action? Was it 2 or 3 people?
MPC and mob action.
So, no, I mean, that's what he says.
Okay.
He even doesn't know that for a fact.
Yes.
So, was it a mob that killed him? Was it an armed robbery that went wrong? Was it over a girlfriend, boyfriend matter? Because if you listen to the story, because it's very strange. Usually, crimes always have a purpose. Okay, so you're looking at this guy who went out and just got killed. What's the reason? There must be a reason. And before you even begin to investigate this matter, you have to understand what could have been the motive. It's investigations 101. You want to understand the motive before you can unravel, because the motive will even tell you what scope you need to look at, what kind of people you need to look at, and what area you need to look at. That's one.
Because every crime biano uzumia because I could see the kind of people be
yes, and you can only know that by motive.
Yeah.
Okay. If it was a girlfriend boyfriend matter, you will now find, because if you hit somebody, an intelligence, they say if you are fighting with someone or you attack someone,
yeah,
and let's say you overpower the person, but yet you take a hammer or you take a stone and hit till they call it crime of passion. So if it was that kind of, if it was a girlfriend boyfriend matter, you can now begin to narrow it down, probably a crime of passion. For that reason, you can now know the scope of suspects you need to deal with. So the military under the law are supposed to do 2 things: to defend our territorial boundaries and to help with internal security. The police is a law enforcement agency, so that if you break the law, the police will then be the right institution to deal with the fact that you've broken a collective law, and for that reason you need to be dealt with. That's one. So under what circumstance did the military first get involved in this matter? What naturally, if you understand the military system, will be that there would have been a report to his commanding officer, his unit commander. His unit commander would have communicated that to the military hierarchy, and the military hierarchy would have sat down and looked at the situation and decided that this is a decision they needed to take. So the commander that took that decision, that he needed to go into Ashaiman, would have obviously given certain instructions.
Like what?
Because first of all, the military is not responsible for investigating murder under the law.
Yes.
They are not.
Yes.
And secondly, they are not even trained to do that. The military is not trained to investigate murders. And in terms of legal jurisdiction, it's not even with the military.
But they are trained to gather intelligence.
The guys that went there were not military intelligence people.
Okay, agreed.
Okay, so therefore, this was not intelligence. This was an operation. And if you understand the military operations, they sit down and plan. This and this is what we are going to do. These are the resources that are available in terms of vehicles, whatever, manpower, whatever. And then this is the operational strategy. This is how you achieve what you're supposed to do in Ashaiman. So this talk about the fact that, it is rather the officers that went on the ground that had excesses is completely, is nonsense. to be honest with you. I don't know. First of all, you have no business. The military had no business sending those soldiers because we know how soldiers are trained. We know what their mindset is. If you want to investigate a crime of this nature, you need the cooperation of the community. There's no doubt about that. Anybody who has even a basic experience in intelligence and investigations will tell you that you will need someone to call you on the side and say, this guy. The military went there to antagonize and beat up the same community that they needed as their ally to conduct the investigation. Arrested everybody on site. Even if it was a military operation, this is a civilian issue. But even if it was a military operation, the military is governed by law. If there was even a war situation, war is governed by laws of armed conflict.
Okay.
And the law says very specifically, let's even assume that because they were soldiers, they did not know that they had to conduct.
Mamema Oliver Voma Akwaba, so that the man for being say about Chairman Akwaba. No problem. Who's Ashaiman? Meetings. Issue. Okay. All right. Okay. Akwaba. Pacho.
So even if they don't know what the local law says, armed forces is governed by international law. Even if it was a war situation, the laws of armed conflict require that when there's war, you must make a differentiation between combatants and non-combatants.
Okay.
So you don't go to war and just shoot missile into residential areas. Those are not military targets. If you do that, you will be charged under the law. Okay? And not just that. If you are a commander and you command troops in a war situation, and you give a commander ends up with your troops shooting missiles against non-combatants, shooting missiles against non-military targets, there is provision under the law for you, the commander himself, to be held responsible for the actions of your officers.
And Kasemen Kamepe Busa MP ni say no more interact here no. Those various groups commanders no.
Anyway, so therefore, the military command bears responsibility for the actions of the officers that went on the ground. So this talk about they are trying to now have scapegoats. It was they who committed excesses. We'll come to the excesses. So even in war, if I was a combatant, if I was a soldier in war, and you captured me, okay, there are rules and regulations how a prisoner of war has to be treated. Let's even assume they don't know the laws, they don't know the local laws, and they went there without knowing that this is a law enforcement issue. They, as soldiers, should know this. They've been going for peacekeeping. The armed forces have been going for peacekeeping. It is against the law. No. And secondly, these were unarmed civilians. These civilians that they tortured, arrested indiscriminately. I've already told you that even in war, you know what they call precision guided weapons. So you don't go to war and just take any bomb. There's one we call scatter bomb. You just throw the bomb. It has no target. It has nothing. It just scatters and kill everybody on site. You will be held responsible under international law. So if you went to Ashaiman and you were arresting everybody on site and you were beating and violating the rights of everybody on site, and then you come back and say, well, there were excesses. Yes, there were excesses, but they were criminal excesses. Okay? There were excesses, but these excesses were criminal. And you see, you go and cause harm to the society. Okay? The same harm is what led to the death. The same harm is what led to the death of this soldier. And under the law, nobody is allowed to cause harm to a fellow citizen. So those harms, we can also say, were excessive harm. The harm that the civilians used that led to the death of this soldier were excessive harm. That is what led to the death of the soldier. If the military went into Ashaiman and also ended up causing excessive harm to the citizens, you call that one excesses, and you call the murder of the officer, you call the excesses that led to the murder of the officer murder. The death of the officer murder.
Because it's the same force.
Harm.
Yes. The same force.
It's actually harm. In intelligence, it's called harm. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the military, and I see that already they are trying to cover up. They are trying to have scapegoats. But the commander who gave that instruction is criminally liable for everything that happens. First of all, they have to prove that they were on the right law in doing what they did in Ashaiman. Okay, you cannot say that I gave the order to people. When you give order to soldiers, you meet them, you tell them the operational methods. When they went there, you had the police, they had guns.
Yes.
Somebody organized the logistics for this operation.
Yes.
And determined that they needed guns. Okay? If the armed forces had gone there to say, look, the police is conducting an investigation into this murder. We are here to provide security, to make sure that things are done well. What the armed forces have done, they have destroyed the investigation. I can tell you that. Look, last week, just yesterday, I got information from National Security. They send this text around.
Yeah. You see something, say something.
You see something, say something.
Yeah.
Combating of terrorism is a big function of armed forces all around the world. And you have the military and the police on your side for several months. They run this campaign. When you see something, say something. Which is to say that communities always are your first point of call when you want to identify crime or terrorism. Yet, you went to the community and did not see the community as your ally.
As your partner.
As your partner. Rather, you went to brutalize everybody on site. That indiscriminate act of arresting and beating everybody, even under international law, is not acceptable. So I'm looking at this whole operation, and I'm looking at the leg on which the armed forces is even defending this action. I've heard a deputy minister say, "Well, we did it."
Yes. I was shocked.
I don't know his background, so maybe I'll keep quiet over that. But it obviously means that he does not know what he's talking about. Anybody who admits that we sanctioned this operation, that we send military people to go and investigate murder without any background in homicide investigations, without any intelligence of where to look and who to cooperate with, does not know what he's talking about. We have lived in this country, just to sum up a little bit. So I've made the point first that the armed forces have dirtied their hand. They say he who seeks justice must come with clean hands. Yeah. You've got to cause harm in pursuit of a harm that led to the death of another soldier. You've messed things up. You've antagonized the society, the community that would have been your best ally in unraveling this case. But the armed forces has this organizational pathology that allows them. I heard that they don't know. Every time there's a case like that, they try to cover up. It's what we call organizational pathology, where they feel like there's a way of thinking that when your guy is in trouble, you need to cover up for him. It's also part of military training that when you go to war and someone is shot, you don't leave him behind. Okay, you carry the person along. So it's a thinking the armed forces have, every soldier has, but it is more of a organizational pathology where they begin to cover up. They extend that to mean covering up for their sins, and you see, it's painful. When I used to write, we used to cover the armed forces from the days of 64 infantry regiment, where they say they will arrest someone and shave them and they will arrest this. But you see, what is shocking to me is that it looks like we as a society, we don't learn. You remember these people in office? MPP.
Yes.
You remember the story about how they used to bastardize Jerry Rawlings, that even in the PNDC era, soldiers used to go to Makola and strip women naked, and how that was undemocratic, how that was unacceptable, how people needed to be punished for even those offenses.
Yes.
You realize that?
Yes.
You remember the story about Selassie Gentoo?
Yes, Selassie.
That his hair.
However,
I don't know where he is, but the big deal they made about the fact that in a constitutional era, you don't allow soldiers to get involved in matters that are of civilian nature, and then shave his head. That's all they did to Selassie Gentoo. I'm not endorsing that. I actually was one of the people who thought it was not cool that they shave his head. How many years down the line?
I check, right.
Okay, how many years down the line we are having soldiers now go to a community and look, if you look at the video, some of it, they put them in dirty water, they throw them in the water, they use their boots. If you see the back, there are imprints of military boots at the back. They're using sticks, they're using metal, they're beating, torturing people. You cannot be allowed, no civilized institution, and it means that over 30 years we have learned nothing. And the people who were standing on the high horses complaining about these military abuses are now the ones justifying it. We just talked about consistency and justification a few minutes ago. So when you look at this situation, you realize that this country is doomed. Everything that goes wrong, either we keep quiet, we say nothing. I've heard the MP talking about compensation. Compensation for what? These people have committed a crime. The crime has not even been investigated yet. Because you see, compensation is based on the fact that there's a fact finding. And that based on the gravity of your offenses, compensation I would say, if you violate my right in this manner, going to jail for it is compensatory enough. But when you hear compensation, they are talking about monetary compensation. You have not even identified the officers who are responsible for this. There seems to be this thinking, right, that excesses by police and military people
security agency
cannot be investigated. Give it to me. Give it to me. Listen, there are rules that underpin military operations. Okay, there are rules.
Yeah.
If you're a policeman in Ejura and you have a gun, okay, there are rules and regulations that underpin the use of the gun and the context under which you use the gun. You don't go and shoot at unarmed protesters, okay, who are only agitating for their right. You might decide that right is not good for you, or you don't agree with it based on where you stand as a police officer. But there are rules on at what point
compensation.
I'm saying that's all that happens. That money comes from you and I. That money, the same community that has been harmed, the same society pays for the compensation. Monkey business.
Monkey business. I'll come back to you. A quick one from Maria Adams is under a supposed human rights lawyer. It's sad. Bozet Kwesi is here. We have Kwesi Foley. It is the same patapa, and it's very unfortunate. All right, so Kofi Selassie says I missed listening to Remonacha on Radio Go during election forensic, and definitely hoping 2024. But remember back to lawyer Vomao, fix the country. Who free Ashaiman? What is happening? How is the atmosphere? And then of course Ashaiman.
Mamincha Minia Raymond and so nobody said me for but we didn't want to come because I'm quite interested in so archives of a lot of the National Reconciliation Commission for videos, and I think it's important in this conversation say be kai Nyamanka ye fair mu as a nation I can't say never again. I say ye bu ye ni guso. Now nim here me ko share me ko Ashaiman ko share in Crawford mu ye hu yi ansem ye hu adwuma. Ene mu di nkomo past 2 days ye volunteers e wa Ashaiman in Crawford twetwe nkomo Sundays ye share community no. The person ye ne say person ye real fact finding. I see it me town Crawford one affected no more 1,000. It would be a nyakwan, a canasem, need me document this event because as someone is a nyakwa.
But medru military no moko Ashaiman no. As at 6th March, the day before Meko community no. Na be assembly see na military crane. Omoko ko hu police for bi e wo Ashaiman. Ano mo bi some sense ade na cry him fam potin e hie. Ye kire mo community no mo bin say be 18 as police station division na chi. Ana mo can shit because the na person go attacking crowd. Nti no mo nim be omo kompo. If they say the omo kwa koye no e intelligence lens omo boa. Gentleman na ye kana sem no wa hwe ne nkwansa bi ya pa. Onye yimpo no onye based in Accra. Sunyan no wo. Omo ba Accra. Se omo ba be program. Ono obo trumpet no bo. Omo ba Accra no sere kwansa okofie. If you enufie. We enufie no call abayo anu ho. Nta abayo no ho no hye. According to information nya. Asa abayo anu no wompena. Ye frɛ boy no ba ho. Oni no ntokwa na nche de chire mu a so je ni na fa ba po first anka ode bo be ma no asem no see na police for kofa girl no ewo girl no go to police station ye bi se na mu asem in the police for no kan no girl no police for her. Another thing so no na ahumachen IGP ko Ashaiman at 4 a.m. omni police intelligence for ko ho omo no ye witnesses to ntokwa na see ye no ya so omo Accra be some maybe a boy in the war. This information, the military don't have that information. The Ashaiman, the Mubisa and the community Ben assembly see. Omoko hono, me call fire police for barracks ni bi mo. Na omu barracks ni mpa ko bunkro for. Police for now more returning from 90 been stopping almost a higher barracks. So they don't even know what they were going to do. And the intelligence be any guided them koye no. The money say community we na hana de ni see them ko pake. Omo wax ni see on the mutugu community nim. Just say obi adan so when me upro ni bia ni ewiri war ni bubu mu dan no ni atwemu afikata so ni bubu mu ni adimu LFM ni gota mu so yese mu numbi. So there was the real purpose of the mokoye no say ye ko brobro nkrofo keke ni atwem say yes ye na ewo to me. Into people general say the intelligence we ko ye adwuma oboa. Na intelligence when na ko ye adwuma ko so nipa 184 uwie answer na ade abese no we jai 72 na the next day we jai 30 na the we jai and also fi na intelligence when na ko ye adwuma e ko ba ne se ne ba ye na Ghana for kan wasempe o mo go release statement say yakochi wi e won krofo ho mo ko tem ko ji wi wo de yi ko fa cantonment kra grofo akokin kra be se be fie nya bi ni na we na was wakwa say no uji wo wan ho no we jankrofo man ko because crime na was wo akọ hu no nda ide na wo jankrofo no so nko fie ndi we na ka ho no de ye den asemu wo asemu si aya ye nyanto wase ne mama efe ni agro kra mama entina ba bi nkasa Ashaiman de krono wo ho se wo ho ti akọ buru bia ye wo mo ti ho no mpanyifo wo mu papa me call who customs mpanyifo wo retired officers wom immigration for wom te say nkofo a mo nimdie fu wom na be ko pake mo work ne kra no ayi lawyer gi man kuma de fie nim na mo ko pake mo work lawyer niti community nim enye say basa fo bi na je say call bi get to because so nkofo bi say ne enye de epe be mfa bebia asem no si ye no ene fie potie si ye na krakasakra no soja fo ni nim fie potie asem no si ye. Really? Yes, I'm call baby ana no mo so obi na mo so kete so ye boy ni so ye say uni imoro. Na wo ayi uko gremfo community mu imoro de so bi de imoro. Na je say obi ana je say ububi na wajabi na wafa bi. Na eno na eni hwehin. So this is a real thing I see. And it is important say benya to wase. NGOs e wo krom nyina betimi asom nsem. Ni betimi ye proper fight finding, documenting asema esi. So that the real scale of the problem in United when you compensation system, see for the purposes of recording, say that we will be able to tell the story better because they see what the intro was say. Yanya was just say we go so near baby fire. Why? Because how many people were affected by the Omuya? That didn't a see human rights for the Bomosori Kukoti, no more Geneva, a human rights report. And so be and field fact finding who the AC or a chroma. Not democracy ben yet. So these things are very important. Community e komo no. Ko fudu do na de na affect you no credit me nyesika enko hospital and me and some who are here. Ghana Health Service way. then coordination ya yes ye bon nkrofo ho ban ye this so doctor for kwa hwe nkrofo wo communities nim dodo na ko police station na police medical form ye be ba omo no mpo no police for ni bi wo jere se mo ngo se hwe na ye na police wo kra bi ka ho kra na ye bu wo na mo peden then na ye be nyanya ma mo nko
mo ka sa akere mo
e bi ka sa akere mo ya report ba ko ka akere me officer bi sergeant Betty wo Ashaiman police station ho ko so ojijiska sorry obema nkrofo answer obema nkrofo forms in some way see nya I remember na fa say bia e bi no me fa ho agigi nkrofo ho sika bi edi anaso mo mu nipa se mo ato omo no. These are real important issues and see. So see na we na see no yen adwuma any volunteers na ye back together the laptops actually show mo nsem the phones they crawl mo say they can really document obiara any story ni nkrofo bet na ho ni e be record no bia ka na numa se bako so we can have a real record e betimi agina so e dia kasa say ka say ye be ko akoye report say a human rights committee or UN and I say Shiraj Mpoa we have to have a basis I didn't for in some beko na me share MP ni opinion leaders no press conference no we sat na me na be makam I made a letter say call on behalf of the clients and achomo and Michelle, I mean, maybe it's a tactic to come and Crawford down. Send a promise compensation. Any. Now, Michelle didn't say, "That's a me no baby. You need baby. See, no be a cancer. I say, the baby mama's car. When you are motel, mama's car. Then no maintains here. Oh, every they come Crawford down. With a meaning. But we need to be able to assess the situation for ourselves. See, I make us say, no, Crawford feel you bubu dine when him. Ube if you can because you will fear any to her and yes will be out to get that community mo ebi no your compound house ebi no be to be fam would be for be fear crack highway into no say you bu ni puno no a this will be tena fear na no and you be na what car replacing the door in some no doors wo intermediate the most important thing is they say mo say mo aso asem no mo amoka because ebi no nya ya nka etwam ni apra ashaketa ase na chese yekoyenim debi ese yetu ye boase ni document ni ka asem in some way see no because ya hwe here ebekon it won't stop here the last 3 years simple incidents is about 10 because it is not stopping because ye ntwu bi aso e wo ho so I mean you can nyama is in the criminal because the gentleman at the time the incident happened had gotten an excuse. He was on a private visit. He's as all intents and purposes, he was a citizen. Police for radio assembly. Because you see, 4 a.m. IGP was as a Ashaiman with many police intelligence people. Yes, I arrested eyewitnesses. We are more some got more information because some baby are not gentlemen.
But only baby a yamin one kakra. Say Ahumachi and IGP and the intelligence team quiet because me no assembly see Friday and Ajua Ade Saturday meboa.
Yeah.
It's around 3 a.m. Me dawo be 4:30. How much no will be sending picture no mama. I didn't see ya no be sending picture no mama. Enipa no works with West African Security Agency. So he sent me the picture.
Yeah.
Me tell because this kind of stories you need to be careful.
Yeah.
Me tell Saturday me ko portals, me ko social media me hu hwinti me so anka. Sunday still that me monitor. Enti nipa no o Sunday me picture no say Bobie ade we asiu Ashaiman anajuwe. Dia me Sunday ya I see. Na me hwe picture no de so e wo me phone so. And I'm hwe di na me ye. Enti Monday, which means Saturday, Sunday, na IGP on Monday.
So as far as I know, no investigation almost starting for about you and so. In the Bayana de ni action ni mudada.
Saturday now how much no.
The next day, yes how much na. I dey chin because girl no friend no interview am here no. Ono claim is on there no wada. O sorry answer no oti asem no. But it's only after mo cheche mo say ne nimo na de no start easy. But say no, it is true that information I will providing it me call omo witnesses to the incident. No omo as part of this. Meaning say a lot of the mind you the time I didn't see so no we are going into the Independence weekend. A lot of police resources have been diverted to go and share your manpenny manage pass or that clue and other things. So maybe that affected the speed with which it may pick up suspects. But investigating the enya hope pray. To gather information to be able to pick people up. At the very least, an arrest had been made in connection with it, and a critical witness had been picked up. So military can't say at any point the omukoye based on some superior intelligence or mobile. Our intelligence natural would then. Our intelligence I want to share with the police for the police to act. And that's only communicating on intelligence from where the whole purpose was to go and instill fear in people. The defense minister can ask and people to respect the uniform. So the idea is that you go bring for and then the is instilling respect. No, there's a difference between fear and respect. The first will be thrown just boo. You know, so conversation in the way there's a lot about it that we still need to talk about and deal with. And I hope that as a nation, we have the temerity and we have the patience and even the forward thinking said this is something that we need to treat seriously and deal with it.
Now a bit I'm out for bed 3-4 now send a message that they believe say those who went there are the MPP vigilantes.
In the media, the truth is that our security sector has been very politicized. The individuals who were sent there and whatever command they were given to go there, no there, I can't speculate about their political affiliations. But A+ can be. Obisa senti soldier for no more hono. I don't want you to see Ashaiman Hobiana. And as a soldier for no money busian for. So people even in the military have people who are affected by this incident. At least for the police, maybe I could be a police for no have been very, very good to me. Because assembly so in terms of providing information and support and whatever it is in the they have been generous with it. A lot of them are disappointed and say hierarchy have not come out and clearly some police soldier for Ninja. Now, as far as they are concerned, because a lot of the people know the calls were going to the police officers. No. They have taken an institutional decision as a military for no year. Immediately they don't go and confront them.
Okay.
But at the very least, they need to be able to develop protocols which goes there not to confront and engage them, but to tell them to stand down. At least give the command on the common of time, telling them to stand down. Whatever they do with that command, leave it. You're not supposed to go and engage them in open warfare. But at the very least, you have the duty to protect civilians. The same way, me, if I'm representing the community and the people involved, police for your movie. Because you were aware of the complaints. And you have a duty under law to intervene, irrespective of who the perpetrator is. The manner of your intervention is not so you're going to engage them in open warfare. But you have a responsibility to tell them to stand down. That is your job. This is your area of domain. Police need be and you deploy police forces say, the military will not watch you do that. And they say, so all these things show say the military no move police for and the police institution as a whole. Because the police for can never go and do this in there. And then you're not going to send your police for the military for share. You're about police for you know. They are all trained. They all trained with firearm. And that's not be a crew. Because the fact say another institution is looking at you in a particular way, no, and just say they cannot engage you in in open warfare. Let's be clear on that. If they're not doing it, they are not doing it because they don't want to escalate the situation and don't want to engage in a situation which will worsen the matter. Now, police for more soldier for that. The civilians grab soldier for. So how much more? So this is not about you will picture one institution against the other. Just say we were one day saying Bakubi. It's only about maturity and professionalism, which will characterize whether or not one, looking at the situation, decides to accord the other way. Sorry, Buobemano, and decides say we will engage them otherwise. But let it never be say as a police if also no, I don't think that's the right approach. And that's the way.
Do you see, sir? They want revenge like. Any military man is safe walking around Ashaiman, living his life and all that.
Listen, the overwhelming response I get from the community is trauma. Maybe I me honest, honorable Nogbe conversation on the can. And also be back can say be a yomo banana food gani. That's trauma speaking. The fear of this thing and what the trauma people were asleep on their beds. I had drag you or more out. Or people say, oh no, James, I am robbers.
Really?
Yes. So these people are traumatized by the experience. Just say, Bia, you know, they're still expectant, say, somebody will make a BBA, which would give, say, Bia, the Atu will recognize the gravity of the Atu. There's a Meko community because people were coming from all other places, Tulakuni, other places, to come and show me their injuries and what has happened to them. So people want to be heard and feel, say, a Kwana meeting, I send to Mokra, Yansafu, Kunma, they will recognize, say, Bia, or how are to me, you know, people want to hear that. That's the overwhelming sentiment I made here. Yes, nobody's talking about revenge. People know that the military has done something wrong and they want say you never recognize it's wrong.
Kwaku on Facebook says we have stupid, fool, useless soldiers and police in Ghana. When the citizens are killed, attacked, no action. When one stupid, foolish, idiot soldier man is killed, then you have them going on rampage. But the point is whether a military man or a civilian, I mean, we have one life. And that is what we need. We need to protect the military because Absolutely. We need them. And the military also needs to protect us because we need them. Ray, back to you.
Bobie, just on a quick point about when the military is having an operation, whether a policeman can go and tell them to stand down.
Yeah.
The way the armed forces work, the military works is different. They have a central command system. The police have a decentralized command system. So you can have a divisional police, district police, and so therefore it's easy for that to happen within the militaries, within the police circles. But in the armed forces, he takes a central command. So he is, and the military is not decentralized. So if he's in Ashaiman, he is coming on command from the center. So there's nobody like the district military command officer that maybe you can talk to resolve something in a locality. When they get their command,
but I'm gonna be an movie educated. Obviously, they have troop leaders.
No, what I'm saying is that they take command. You have a command from
okay. So even
now go to Ashaiman and do ABCD.
Okay, Matthias,
and they will never take because the responsibility is on you.
Because so, even leader no leader also command from the top.
Yes,
Matthias.
Yes. Right, so that's going to be difficult. The other issue that I think we should look at, for me, is the issue of those who were arrested, brutalized and arrested and taken to Burma
for 3 days,
and then they are released. First of all, under the rules, you cannot use any of those interrogations. Okay, when you arrest somebody without a proper warrant, and you brutalize him, torture him, let him drink warm water, take him through stress, then you go and interrogate him and say, yeah, he confessed that he was the one. People under stress confess to a lot of things that are not true. So that's why I'm saying that for the armed forces, they are so in the wrong, and it is very dangerous that we are sitting here and almost talking about the conclusion of something that has not even started yet. What the armed forces has done, in my opinion, look, armed forces, and we always say, and I was talking to you about organizational or institutional pathologies, right? There is this mindset that the military is more professional. There is this mindset that the population and the civilians fear the military most. And so, therefore, anytime there is anything that it entails the use of force, they bring in the military. So, Galamsey, they bring in the military. When there is demonstration and is a very serious one, they bring in the military. And not
Parliament.
That, yes, they bring in the military. You see, and that mindset is not just at the organizational level, now it's even at the governmental level, where if you look at armed forces budget, okay, armed forces, how many soldiers do we have? How many? The Ghana armed forces, I think now, as at 2020, if I'm not mistaken, the strength, the military strength is about 15,000.
Oh,
15,000. I think every year since the president came into office, every year I think he recruits 500 people. So if you look at the strength and the amount of budget that we give the armed forces, and you look at the number of police people nationwide, and the budget they get, you can understand why every time there's a problem, they think that the military is more resourced. Okay? You think that the military is more resourced. So you have a situation where the military has gone there under a false command and under a wrong command, have gone there to perpetrate violence against citizens and violated their rights and traumatized the society, and left the investigation done. And their thinking is that they will leave.
Okay, you are right. Around 16,000.
Around 16,000. When the president took office, I think the past 6 years, almost every year, he recruits 500 people into the armed forces.
Right.
If my yes, so this is only 15,000 soldiers we have, okay, and they are scattered between Air Force, Navy, and infantry. But look at their budget. And me, Bobie, I studied intelligence. I studied national security. I feel like Africans focus on. You've seen the war in Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
You've seen the military strength of Russia, and they are still struggling because security and intelligence have changed. People are buying delivery drones and putting grenade on it, and you are sitting down. We are still sitting here building army of tanks. You go and look at their budget. They're buying tanks, armored personnel carriers, which somebody will buy a drone and drop on it and it will scatter. People are building. The U.S. is building cyber command as a unit. Complete unit. They don't throw guns. They don't have ammunition, but they can do more. So we are sitting here and we are spending so much on the armed forces, and they say to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yeah.
We can't throw this amount of money, and that money in millions is coming from the same Ashaiman people. You, me, the Ashaiman people. We throw that millions and millions of dollars into the armed forces. When was the last time we went to war? I get it that you build your army before war. You don't build an army during war. But I'm saying that we can't give that level of resources to the armed forces, hoping that we will have a professional armed forces or develop a professional military. And then they go around doing things like this. And you have a defense minister that comes and beat his chest and say, yes, people must respect the uniform. Respect, they say, is earned. You don't get respect by breaking the law. You don't get respect by violating the rights of citizens. You don't get respect by scuttling investigations. You don't earn respect that way. If the military, and I will tell you this, when Kufuor was in power, His Excellency President Kufuor was in power, they had come on the back of all the criticisms against NDC. Jantua was having haircut, blah, blah. So they instituted what they call military-civilian relations.
Oh, okay.
And then they take kids to go to the military and began to have military and civilian dialogue and exchange. Just so that the military can understand the population and the population can understand the military. What you're having now, and that continued. That continued during Professor Mills' era, Mr. Mohammed's, His Excellency Mohammed's tenure. So what happened that all of a sudden, when there is any little issue in the in town, they have now. You even see even ordinary operatives are wearing hoodies. Okay. When they go on operation and they are wearing hoods.
Omo ko asaman kese your friend say akwa we ni din say akwa ya ko ayawa so no double Debbie. Oh, this guy akwa ya ko ayawa so yi. Look, if you look,
they were retired now.
No, anya kwasi for the other one. Akwa omde ko commission name short commission name no.
No can double.
Anya double was under instructions. The police guy.
Okay, I don't remember.
No,
oh,
but you see, Bobie,
the Azugu na this hood for no cause a man a gold robbery operation.
But listen, police officers, law enforcement officers. Let me ask you a question. If the police went to a community where everybody was in hoodies, covered his face, and they are going to do investigations. Imagine how that will work. You see, I have this feeling that people have there's this growing sense of the use of force. But even the use of force in security is underpinned by rules and regulations. That the state is nothing.
Well, to end it, I'm out for Busasa, a tactics are MPP Abani. It seems like Ghanaians and the opposition parties, CPP, whatever, in face of using the military on the people, they are too quiet.
Well, you can say that. You can actually say that. And that would be a very valid argument. Because I cannot come to terms with the fact that we're having elections, right? Very civilian exercise. What happened? What did the security people have in mind prior to going? Because you see, you can never predict that there is going to be this violence at this place. Mm-hmm. You can never predict. But then, ahead of going to the operation, they had decided that they will cover their face before they go there. It tells you that there was a premeditation, that something needed to be done, and we didn't want these faces known and everything attributed. Yeah. It's simple common logic. So you realize that it's playing out. And when you feed your dog in the house, when you start feeding him flesh, you will always remember that one day it will eat you. It will eat somebody up.
Oliver, now honey ababa Drew. It seems like anything I bind a person the biano or mu use military.
Very docile society.
Yeah, bibia person the biano or mu use military. Mekai ada omo anajo omo echi mini say enkrofo buy no. The first statement was that you do echo a barracks. Then I asked them, how do you already make a barracks there? But also own barracks media and you do cathedral site. That is where we can discipline you. So it seems like Akufo-Addo is that military when you kuanye when soja tareda but otwa na ya ne say anko soja ni. And that I don't know what is happening.
Yes, me very simple. Okay, na kai me say soldier for were involved in my arrest. I had completely forgotten about that.
A military that pick you.
Yeah, there were military people who picked me up with plain clothes, which I assumed were BNI for. But there were military people who were the ones who were the guards.
The fact that he is struggling to even know where they came from, who was involved.
No,
it's a big issue.
There's no identification of nothing.
It's a big issue. Bobie,
you know, the same thing. You can identify them. Some riff-raff boys, you can identify.
If tomorrow somebody shows up in, you see, people do what we call
no.
How crime works is that there's what they call copycat crimes. Okay.
Yeah.
So if today I read in the news that Volmer was picked up, and the people who went there didn't have to identify themselves, but they still managed to pick him up. If I hear from you, Bobie, that you got picked up at dawn, but the people who arrested you, you didn't know who they were. They say a criminal is always at least above average intelligence. So he now knows. First, they wear hoodie. Okay, I can wear one. I can show up in your house, say I'm looking for you. I don't have to identify myself.
And they say the no. That's how
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's how they are using the boys. Almost a hood, no maba.
Now say journalists with Zoya Bubedu, call City FM. They were hooded people who went there.
Yeah, that's a typical example.
I mean, filing against the National Security Minister. No, one of the issues then was they should show us their standard operating manual, which determines that people need to be hooded.
No, that they can show you, but they should show you the basis.
So they can bring that up.
They should.
I won't bring it up. Then we challenge the constitutionality of having a manual that guys that civilian arrest the person will not identify.
All right, but I have a right to also
and then
challenge
they refused it for 2 years. They refused to bring it. I find it National Security Minister in respect of that. But on the general deployment of the military into this thing, even in terms of so many for. Electricity bill, cry the soldier for this has become so routine the flippancy with which Obi sorry I don't afraid soldier for some saying and go into a community, no, it doesn't make any sense. Accra High School, Accra High, soldier for. So even in secondary schools in Poye deploying soldiers into those communities, it's a really, really bad tendency.
You kill the morale of the police.
It's a really, really bad tendency.
You build a mindset as if they are second fiddle.
And I don't know.
They are actually the law.
I don't know some more information, and now they are using the military to even grab lands. Chado area when you some of the soldier for the James Arsenal.
Now say you be some people have sent me messages in my inbox since I've started talking about this issue about for now, this soldier for bro.
Yes,
people have sent me and petition to judge on this issue. We really have to be serious about the conversation. Say retire. Say violence. I did a high end. Now military violence. I see ye fee. I can remember me money a woman. Now you could that's why you soldier for. I yet to say she ain't sign and the neighbor say you won't be party. There's a serious conversation about it. Many you can say no can be say. Soldier for be movie, you know, this a command if it's throw neighbor. Basically, a parliament as my year can be one and the other.
What compensation?
You so, I did a year can even a Mikai Tama, a Speaker of Parliament back when you can say I withdraw no military escort, no, can make say even it is better for him impose a withdraw. Because the rate at which even critical office holders, na soldier for one in a momo, ne binimu kura bag. Anyway, if you are really very intent on guarding and securing the Fourth Republic, you be very careful in the situations in which you continue to deploy the military.
live on 100.5. Ray, it seems Kwabena had the near time or call, and it's Friday. I'm hoping someone, but many areas, just 1 minute, mess a tearful in answer or more in front to him. We know you have archives. These issues about for reconciliation, I think so. Provide you should be providing a platform.
But he makes a very nice point, which is Bobie, the fact that as we sit here, we did a reconciliation commission that dealt with matters that are not as serious as this. I can tell you that that somebody was asked to drink water from
dirty
the
water.
gutter.
Yeah.
And what kind of training do these people get? Because you see, the modern military also there was a U.S. soldier that went to Afghanistan, and he bought this knife, you know, the knife that they threw.
Yeah.
And he decided to practice it on a young child. He threw the knife, it went through the boy's stomach, and he died. You know, he's in jail as we speak.
Sharp.
Okay, he's in jail. So there are laws that govern people, and so I'm trying to understand under what training or under what command will someone go to a community, and a man who is paid by the taxpayer. That's what, for me, that's what annoys me the most.
They don't respect
the people who are giving commands all over the place. Go and do this, go and do this. At the end of the day, the deputy minister that is talking anyhow, at the end of the month, he draws his salary from the same people he's brutalizing and gloating over it.
Anyway, so I hope we'll provide more information on the reconciliation. We'll provide our platform. And lawyer, Vomao, your platform where your person dedicating the course in Ashaiman. That
no,
any day,
I think
anytime
you should try. Give it some more space.
Our platform is for you. Any day, anytime you want to use this platform to communicate to the people. Yeah, the platform we
really appreciate it.
Yeah, so the bit me the abua. I was saying medium. Yeah, that's very on behalf of ASCMG and Accra FM. I say why are there? Ray. CMG for so much. So thank you so much.
Any day.
All right. Live on Accra 100.5. Me run Nima kwa Juma my community. What is happening in Nima? Ma mingre Nima na minkonko Juma ewo Nima quick one. Na mensaimbra and we talk about so many things. Na ye dim koma ye nim koma mfa ye communities no ho. Ye train ma asem si Ansah ne akobisa community nimpo unu se Ashaiman asem we baaye no afi na manfo kire ba bi e kwan ye na gata na Ashaiman kran develop ye and then Fayin Kosia. So what is the point? And Honorable Omar Sanda Muhammad Nima Zona Council Chairman and Honorable Baba Alaji Nuhu Khalid, Assembly Member Nima 441 and Chairman for Nima Community Development Committee. Me sure say Honorable Omar Sanda any okay. Chairman Akwaba. And Mami Enkoy Baba Alaji Akwaba. Baba Alaji, so tell us, what are some of the challenges? Nima, those areas, Titumu community. We are talking about community challenges. What are some of the challenges? Tell us.
Nidikama, Nima 4, more especially in the electoral area, Nima 441.
Nima 441, no one.
Nima 441, no, just opposite the Nima Central Mosque. Oko Kanda Highway no so. Just opposite.
Before baby I can be share if
you a whole Nima 44.
Oh, okay.
Baby I can't share me na me Asabil ma.
We work akra. Hey, ya bro. Alaji, ya just kuma. Hey. Alaji ko.
Yo, enti me di entia ema me electoral area. Yeah, challenges. Bebre. Mpuntio, education, sanitation. Bibia security, bibia.
Alaji, hold on. Momo osmo security challenge.
Of course.
How? Tell me.
Place that congested, obviously the rate of insecurity will be a little
because
high.
Media Martin say, baby say 441, and I say Nima they were even an adjunct crofona, so you can't steal. Wouldn't mean we are there. I don't know security what you are talking about, but that's what Martin say. And yeah, baby, I bet me we are there.
Well, in terms of chrono, there. Almost say me said me statement, me put statement, but the fact of the matter is in terms of within a tickling of an eye.
Okay. So gangs, you are talking about gangs,
exactly.
Groups.
Exactly. For that one, it is there, and a major challenge. Say you bet me a move and I say you be eradicating some of these things because they pose as a security threat to the community. Again, so far in the face of sanitation, because of the population, so obviously the rate of friends saying faults
but honorable yes I'm bright you gangs now or cano. Is it that so because watching normally near to say say and to crazy or offer it me trigger
exactly
and down and you know now what can I say where your boys or matetic ganga to and near what
for places like that bees are etna and there I can tell you say almost every base in Ubeni will be over 2 and I say over 6 kind just for protection.
I see.
Yes. And it is something I always say on my security agency Nima Divisional Police Command I was say a project to ensure say you bet me a winning out of
but Obia send and say Nima Police Station we are CCTV. Amba
in fact the Divisional Police Command Office. So that is the friends a problem. Nima community, yes.
Sanitation.
Sani medical kind, obviously, sani the number of population in the community, community soon said down so more of a slum, and the generation of waste, and the collection is very little. So
why little?
It's very little because assembly investment into sanitation no any that huge. And the assembly collections are no at least twice or thrice a week. And filter generating BB I was say no on a daily basis, even Saturday, Sunday, because Nima you need Saturday, you need Sunday. Every day is busy day in Nima. In fact, even the weekends could west because some running I fraud, sona, and all those things, you know. And also one of the areas are generating waste because Nipa be didi or more parks any a honky kahoni nano a contributory factor in the waste management in the friends community. Waste is one of the major problems.
So waste, security,
and education. A community yenni secondary school.
Nima.
Yes.
Baba Jaja.
Nokura make a show.
Nima.
Yes. Yenni secondary school. And the closest Accra Guest. Accra Guest is Nima Mamobi, which is Ayawaso North. Okay. Nima is a municipal on its own. Ayawaso East Municipal Assembly.
Okay.
So Yankwala Omuko school most no Omuko Osu Salem, Osu Presby. These are areas Omuko school. Unfortunately no Omu Krafies Omuko school Dodoona and Kodu school.
No are
diverted. So because distance no one inti ama parent no
inti
monitor and it is one of the problem at the assembly level to ensure that we have a community day secondary school ebe much easier say akwala krani parents so oko school parent no with the working distance no can also come and supervise
as
an assembly no community no availability of land one obviously.
Oh, okay.
Again, request say there was some of the government schools conduct class 4 schools say okay the enrollment is very low. So if possible for some of the blocks and convert it in secondary school. Say as we speak, this is the stage you do say if it will be considered so that Yankwala no benya school within the community so that the supervision will also be there.
But your friend say Mustafa Ahmed Kasha Omuba BCC high rise buildings. What happened?
Oh, Nima land and government land. So untumin kana sa trada keke
into a seda.
I don't know what motivated him to do that, but
Baba,
yes.
In case of friend, you only a kid one. Case of friend, was as a mini akitwa. Tiasama okay.
That's how God knows over can I so ba. In some say the media tuja now. Muhunu saying Ansah the media tuja.
But what the tuja no. Among for welcome the news.
Who welcome the maybe those from outside because tea inside no. Nim said Nima land no enye government land. Any state lander, because you have to go. You have to go negotiation with multiple landsowner. Multiple. If you be our your friend say Eura, wajina watana sasi we see it dying, and it is enyesa better say obeba. Because so
let's do this exercise. It was a strategy vote.
That
is terrible.
Yes.
That's terrible. Nima and Komono, I have said the it's so unfortunate, but my member Omar Alhaji Omar Sanda so Alhaji Omar. Momo side no one ever.
Maybe side near Nima Central.
Pacho mo ni gakra.
Yes, side near Nima Central.
Nima Central no
do Nima Market. Say Uka Gota.
Nima Market. Baby I will turn Udwainam no.
Yes.
Udwainam no. Almost see a tin.
That's
Nima
research electoral area.
And some want to do Udwaino.
That is my side. And
okay.
To say that
which is what if I'm main mosque, no?
Yes.
Main
mosque in electoral area.
Okay. The last base of Moye TZ, that's what Bamubi.
Yes. Another electoral area as well. Who electoral area all in the same community.
Okay.
To say the Amibra kind, but as some back correction was the security aspect of the Oka basis Nima Yanina your basis or Nima Uba Nima Upesa young guys in our Ubeko basis. So many bases. We have Hollandians, we have Los Angeles, we have You2 Can Fly, we have so many bases.
Okay.
And I ghettos. Wow. And the all kind ghettos as them.
Ghettos. Okay.
They are almost to only sick kind ghettos as them. Wow, they are almost now team within the youth who are
base for no.
Okay.
The say 441 say we twam amoya no motete da no like their omo bon komo base.
Base. In fact, omo kura de obenya industrialists are
yes, business guys. No one am for two or
yes.
One am for two.
Yes. Basis no omo dia obi anye say oye bad person na o kita to be for protection and other things. I don't know where kita to. What protection? One idiot.
Why you then?
So what you say?
Okay.
And they are almost she meaning by no omotusu. You do be a collect say exactly 16 years 17 years. We are getting you. No,
mobile
and can make say my Samechi. Now you boy in the video. Amami. But short time now I see I late. Wow. That is why anti-security aspect of it, okay, sir, get to soon a problem or
no. But Munkomo, I don't think say serious. Baba, let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Move to me favor. Mon next coming, no, be facilitate move free well. Friday. Weekends I don't work. Next week I'm starting my show from Monday to Friday. Move me a favor. Ask your back near your time 1 hour to deal with this matter.
Well, a community service in
I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad because my time is up. It's so unfortunate. When my time is up. But my straight here for na power Baba Alaji Acho. Na Alaji Omar Acho. That let's sit down properly. Let's have about 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes on this. Because issues now more raising here too serious. A be a year bobo and penny for better be. Those ones they can help us to solve it, they will help us. Those we can't solve, probably we will leave it. Nima wo ho Sabi enye the one day but at least especially sanitation and a cluster of homes and those things, we need to talk about it. Then we'll have a proper way of dealing with the matter. I'm so sorry. Alayuma.
Yes.
Let's have a proper conversation. Nyami Adman next week.
Inshallah.
Pacho, you promise here. You promise here. Okay, so let's promise ourselves. Let's do this. Okay. So all right. Okay. So all right. So next week you be share Alaji Omar and me said ne mo aka say muko drum benya more information. Yeah. Next week momrano. No information be brave. Seven say what the assemblyman is saying is true. When I was driving a taxi driver or whatever in Nima, you pick a girl in uniform thinking she's going to school.
Really?
And at the end of the day, she'll get to La Paz and change herself and move to a different location. Yes. Okay, so you have a Menyavi, Stephen, or can be a tour there, or confirm there, all kind of. So now, Akoga Apana says, so Bobie asks Honorable Omar, if Nima is not for government, why did Rollins decided to move them to Medina. Okay, so I don't know the history. I don't know.
Inshallah, next week.
Okay. You may be in right. Okay, so that's it. That's okay. Thank you so much. And I see the brain and Kobamo. May I see the brain. Okay, so quick one. Make I was give us a bar center or more Ebeya Juma and has say Friday evening, and of course Yaya Jumani Bia se kasa and the meska and kame many come despite sika kaboso so menam ti my proper say ma kasa sa me sha say two kasa sa be kum sa amri nen kam kasa wie ya nen company fire madum nen kam mo man bibia sanka ye anambwa sebe ya prostate cancer nchibi wo mimu odi my brother swap bread akaso obedi mate ai what for namu say ya friend say Christian ya so for America o say so abra
yeah man apostle Cristiano bon apostle Cristiano
akwa ba so go no hey he said
oh Hannah oh my brother take time God's time is the best
hey Christian bon enkola na wu asori kola ni jira condemn and a tibruku so dia fam wo that's a Mr. Obe
okay ojiremo nkoko
sa o da su jiremu no mun say o to andro
da bi o mu de
o ga tro o da yala ulu say yala de ko ye coach
ono team na say who be the team
Angola Robbie no mo bono
okay
oh you recruit
yeah so I remember
Obedi
go on you
Friday who did
oh sure I was here and then you may Mama me fan chaka say enfama mo wa Accra 100.5 the Citizen Show so abra Commander Boham wa prepare chire ade ama me de ene abusia me sraw simedu wa me no ntem ansa na no nsia bebo ma de kase de ba bebre no de me sraw ye wa so na tie me pa na nkomo me no wa bedi no ya de betumi ehia wo ye pa ni nyina no apomuden se na betumi abra na ebrani edon nyina no ya ahoden pa betumi awo ho na wedie no ene nipadua kwa no so na betumi agina brane ma ebrani edon nyina no ye betumi agina na so ma ye nwuma hodo a ye no edi no so no eno so no etumi akonkan eye pa na se na betumi aboa ma nipadua no ne eye hunandua na fa na ntuma pa afra ma yare a ye kwankro ni abro wo so ni ache wadwe no nti aseso no ebetumi akonti no eno nti na Givers Herbal Center me no kase yedi yankase yememu hahama eni ndubina yedi aye aduro edi aba adwaman so yewie no FDA for ayemu enhwehwemu wo ma gya tum sampa eye yenje ne de yentumi fendi dwuma no ene enwumre ni ebre ni adon nyina no eya ye bo hu dewuro ede ema wo enti no safe ene nso ne da wote yenka e wa Accra 100.5 FM so e the Citizen Show so say Givers Herbal Center ene enwumre ye de enchiakese ede mamo pa na ye wo Ghana manti mu ma bosumi eye Ghana bosumi na ye di Ghana bosumi nuane na ye hye Ghana bosumi eye nu entade ne aka no na se ye pe Ghana enu panso no ne yetumi enom ezanze se odi aduane ne wie na o sha atade pa ne wie na apomuden no enwie pe ya eya na enkankan enti misro nya ebibidro ene hahama a eno eti apo ma eno no enye matra makọ emekoso ma hwe na mom no we de peking kran yare ko how ukọ herbal shop ukọ pharmaceutical shop and have a licensed chemical shop bia no ukan ya wonsa ka adro na pe sa yare no ene ekosa ede amawo na enanwumre ma me ne wandi eye Givers P capsules and have a Givers co capsules ehon komo enfama Emma dodo na wo hon mo bega so media matenka ewa akire oh media me koforo mpa anase me kodi mpemu agora ene matenka de eya menya bi kra mesrew wo ye oba na sa hawi ewo so anase sa problem yi eya wo problem mesrew bɛrima nso a ebi a nso akodonkwe anasa ɔkankyema ɔhokafo wodɔfo ɛwɔ saa ɔhaw yi ɛne odi betwi etwi abɔ so a ɔbaa no sɛ otim wa no sɛ otim onkenya no ho na nkampa sɛ opusu ne tadua mu mpo ɛde ehyia wɔ mesrɛ bɔmɔden nakɔ herbal shop bi ɛwɔ man kan ne mu hanom ɛmpo amonɔne ɛnyina obenya Givers Herbal Center yɛnu pɛ bi ɛwɔ hɔnom naga sɛ wɔn ma Givers P capsules ɛna afɛ Givers Co capsules mesrɛ eduro no yɛfa ne mienu ɛde bɔ mu ɛbra P capsules no ɛma watenka na ɛma ɛmɛma ɛyɛ tɛduamu ayɛ den na ɔmompa so agorɔ etumi akɔnkan no na ɛma no nso ɔmatenka etumi abɛn mu na ɔmo nso ɔmotumi de ehyia ɛmɛma no ɛma na yɛ mu gemu ma na yɛ akɔnɔ na Co capsules no ɛboa